Bellator 218. We got Mike Goldberg.
That's a weak Mike Goldberg.
I thought it was pretty good. But Bellator 218, main card, fight companion, Craig Allen, Matt Allen. Let's get into it. It's brought to you by Spretzbox. Head on over to the website spretzbox.com. All you have to do, click to get started. You can either order one of their boxes that has over $100 in value, or maybe you're interested in a single item, like these great socks. So click on them, add them to your cart, head on over to the checkout, and then all you have to do is enter in the promo code FNP as follows here. You'll save 10% off your first box or your complete first order. That's spretzbox.com. Fight Night Picks is brought to you by Strikeforce Energy. Head on over to the website strikeforceenergy.com if you enjoy the flavor of freedom. The company's veteran-owned and everything's made in America. They've got great apparel. You can turn any 16.9-ounce beverage into an energy drink. There's no sugar, no calories, no stirring, or no shaking required. They also have a line of different products as well as Strikeforce coffee. So if I head into my cart, I've got a 4-count sample pack. I've got a 20-ounce coffee mug. And if I head into that checkout, use the promo code FNP, click to apply, and you're going to save 20% off any order. That's FNP at strikeforceenergy.com. Oh, no audio there was. There we go. We got him going.
We're back.
Hey, sometimes you make mistakes. There we go. It's all right.
We know now.
Let's start from the start. It's a fun card.
It is.
Muted myself twice, but only 4 fights on the main card. So you've got Norbert Noni taking on, we talked about it, William Lavine. And, I mean, Noni, super young guy, 3-0, trains with guys like MVP out of the UK. He's a really big prospect. That's why they're putting him on this main card. I'm not overly excited for this fight because his opponent, 1-1, had a decent amateur record, but he's 36 years old at 1-1. So it's kind of one of those one-off fights in Bellator. Yeah. You also have Anatoly Tokov, whose brother, Vladimir, already fought tonight in a terrible decision. It was a bad fight. Taking on Gerald Harris, the Slam King, 4 slam knockouts on his record. Spoke with him. It was really one of the first big interviews with Fight Night Picks, so pretty cool stuff from Gerald Harris. We're just getting some more particulars on that main event. In your co-main, you've got Valentin Moldavsky taking on Linton Vassell at 265. That's a really intriguing fight.
It is.
Talking back with Tim Johnson, he was offered a Moldavsky fight back in the spring when he left the UFC. And didn't end up taking it. First fight was Czech Congo. Did not go his way.
It's a weird stoppage, too.
And then in that main event, of course, you got Emmanuel Sanchez taking on Georgi Karakhanyan. We're going to have that interview, the full entire phone conversation that we had earlier last week. We're going to play that during this. So we've got Noni taking on Lavine. They're both in the cage already, so we'll get into our in-fight view. Like we were talking about, you've got Wonder Boy and Showtime tomorrow. we're going to be having a couple of brews, enjoying those fights. But for tonight, Norbert Novny Jr. taking on Will Lavine. You can see there it says 2-0 on the Bellator site. Realistically, Novny 3-0, Lavine 1-1. These two guys at 185. And like we said, I mean, the pedigree of Novny, super, super young fighter. You can see it there. He's 19 years old now, taking on the 36-year-old Will Lavine. He's going to be at a 2-inch height disadvantage, but he's going to have 2 extra inches of reach. So now we've got everything working. Marty Usman, I mean, A, the champ is here, but B, DAZN raising the prices. I locked my prices in. Unemployed Mario Yamasaki, I apologize for that audio being off. I don't know. I set it off on 2 different occasions there. But yeah, DAZN raising their prices in the States, and that's a sour taste for DAZN fans after signing so many fighters recently. Exactly. Now we're going to jack our prices. That's a kick in the balls. In Canada, again, you get the NFL, you get golf, you get college sports as well. So it's a pretty good deal for Canadian fight fans, but not necessarily fight fans, because all we get really is Bellator and Combat Americas. And realistically, the only reason why I have DAZN is Bellator, but I get to watch my Cleveland Browns. And you know what? They're going all the way to the Super Bowl this year. OBJ, Jarvis Landry, it's a hell of a team. But we're getting, again, the more particulars. You got Will Lavine.
Has zero definition on his body.
Yeah, he's got a young man's haircut on an old man's head.
Pretty much.
So that's...
Do you think he does 6 skateboard tricks and he's not fighting?
I mean,
he looks like the type
just straight kick flips. That's probably his move. Like I don't know, but you know what? Maybe he could throw 900 at us and really surprise me, but I doubt it.
900 at us?
Yeah, there's very few that can. Norbert, they're saying 3-0 as a pro, 6-0 as an amateur, and like we said, he's got an excellent pedigree as far as his background is concerned. A good wrestler, his striking's quite good. Working with guys like MVP across the pond, and we're getting ready for round number 1, first fight on the main card. Lavine taking on Novny, and here we go. So head into the chat, let us know who you're taking in this fight. I mean, we realistically didn't make our picks. Novny's got an odd stance, but we don't need to make picks for this fight.
Novny's gonna win this.
Novny's gonna win this. It's fun to see guys like this though that are so overconfident that
I don't think it's
knocked out.
Overconfidence though. I just think it's like
it's a mismatch.
Yeah.
It's a mismatch on a main card, which is always a shame to see. Novny gets the back already.
Couldn't. Oh, roll though. Oh no, he just flipped on top. That was
and Novny's gonna get the back. So yeah, I mean, great fights on this card. Not to totally gloss over this one, but Novny's already got the back. We're 40 seconds in. He's got one hook in. Now he's just kind of fighting the hands here. Backpacking it on Lavine, who's blocking his head for punches, though no strikes have been landed in this exchange.
Well, no, but why would you? You're going for the choke. Why would you give up your hands
exactly.
to get punched?
Now he's...
Go for the armbar.
No, he's going to be going for that rear naked there. But yeah, DAZN raising their prices, that's never good. Always leaves a sour taste in the fans' mouths, and kind of shame to see. The one thing that you do have in the States is you guys get KSW, EFC, Road FC, as well as Combat and Bellator. So you're a little fortunate there. Plus you get all the Matchroom stuff. We get that too. But a lot of great boxing coming to DAZN if you're a boxing fan. I'm a casual of the casual boxing fan, and I've said that time and again. It doesn't float my boat.
Lavine did a decent job guarding that rear naked choke, but he's still on bottom.
Yeah, Novny up, kind of working from half guard here up against the cage. He's looking to pass here. Not really able to do a whole lot with the cage being right there. Working more from full here. Landing some strikes on Lavine. No, exactly. Not really letting his opponent get back up to his feet.
Well, no, Lavine just isn't doing the right things to get back up to his feet. He just tried to do like a Derek Lewis, give up your back, and then just get up, but that doesn't work. Like
Novny getting the back up against the cage here. DAZN hit us with the bait and switch.
They really did. And do you think it was a case where they spent all this money on these good fighters, and then they went like, ooh, we kind of got to cover that not again?
Novny with the guillotine in. They'll stand a guillotine. She's tight, but just the way he's got his bicep on there, you never know. He could pop out.
Well, the way he's cracking his back is kind of weird. But he's not. Like, that's not how you're supposed to do it. You're not supposed to arch your back. You're supposed to actually just squeeze and pull. It's not an arch your back type thing.
It's not an arch your back type thing. That's what she said.
But it's
he
not
loses
like,
it, though.
The only time I've ever seen that work was Chael Sonnen on Shogun. For some reason, they fought, which is a weird fight. But Shogun went for a takedown, and Sonnen just kind of like grabbed him in the right way and just pulled as hard as he could and got the tap. But
yeah, Lavine going for a takedown of his own right here. He might be able to get it with a single leg.
oh, he's going to have it now. If he can get it, modified guillotine, just pull up, he should be good. Snaps him down, though.
Yeah, Noni getting him down onto the ground. Now trying to get the back.
Yeah, floating on top well.
Yeah, I mean, as far as, like, we were saying background, pedigree, blah, blah, blah. I mean, the guys that he trains with, but you can see the skills here. I mean, he's definitely good in quite a few different functional areas.
But he's beating you up, so does that really mean much?
Well, I mean, I'd have to gain a good 20, 25 pounds to fight him, but yeah, I mean, let's set it up. I mean,
that's without even cutting. That's just to get to 185.
Well, I mean, Max Friedman was supposed to be the fight that I was supposed to have. You were supposed to fight Michael Fidel, but...
we would both lose those, and that would tarnish the FNP names. Let's not...
No, exactly. Yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not... Oh, good elbow.
Oh, yeah, that was a nice elbow from the back. Millie's going to be Dana.
That's
good.
That's
fine.
We need someone to promote this
Realistically, though, nice.
Oh, German suplex.
And Noni gets
if he gets the running choke, that's awesome. That was cool.
That was a really good move. That's one you throw in your highlight reel. Yeah, he's all over Lavine in this fight.
He is, but I thought he'd get the stoppage by now.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know, like a pig in shit
on down.
Right here.
He's on his back now.
And eating an up kick is Lavine.
Does he have the ankle? No, the knee's still in.
Ooh, going for a knee bar.
The knee's in. He might have it.
He's got her tight.
He's got to push
he can roll
off
into
with that
it.
foot. No. He has to push off with that foot.
Lavine's up to his feet.
Put your leg out. Why are you
gets out of it?
effing around?
Marty says, every week I'm loving Ben Askren more and more. Listen, this is a guy that I never thought would be in the UFC.
And definitely not be as popular as he is already.
Yeah, super, super popular. Like, it's insane how popular he is right now.
It is. But he's the only person I think who could beat Marty from Nebraska, unfortunately. And I like... he just won via Von Fleur. No, end of the round, sorry. Weird position. But, yeah, he's the only person I see beating Usman right now in the top 15 at welterweight. There's a lot of fun fights in welterweight, but just the fact that Usman's so grappling heavy, no one can stop that unless it's Ben Askren.
I mean...
Like, I don't think Colby Covington does the same things Usman does. He's
just not as good.
Exactly. He's just not... He's very good at the same things. They both have good cardio, decent stand-up. I would give the edge to Usman in stand-up, especially in the Woodley fight. I know he saw a lot of takedowns, but when he did stand and throw, he actually hurt Woodley on a couple occasions. So I would definitely give him the edge in striking. But with Ben Askren, I just think it's a tough matchup for him. Unless he can outlast him.
I want to see the rematch with Robbie Lawler.
I would too.
I think it's only fair. I don't think they'll do it. I think they'll push Ben Askren. I think they'll try and put him... I mean, he wants 165, but at the same time, Tyron's not the champ anymore. Exactly. So
what I think they're going to do is they're going to do Colby Usman, and then they'll do... if either Askren fights in the meantime, or they just like let him sit, and then he gets the next shot. But there's a lot of fun fights in welterweight right now. I want to see Elizeu Zaleski dos Santos fight Robbie Lawler so damn badly. That's such a good fight.
Elizeu needs a top 10 guy.
He does. He's been fighting on the prelims, on the undercards, and he's been like ranked 15 and 14 just fighting on ranked guys, and he's beaten all of them. Violently, too.
Norbert's opening up with that stance again, and Lavine, I mean, he just faked the body shot and then shook his head like, yeah, I got it.
He had a good leg kick. But
he did have a good leg kick.
He also just looks...
You got to focus on the positives.
There's no athleticism to Lavine. Like,
he looks like David Michaud if David Michaud was bad at fighting. And speaking of David Michaud, former Bellator UFC vet, combat vet, he signed on to be with PFL this week.
He's so slow.
David Michaud's actually one of those fighters, like, have a look, go back and watch some of the tape. He's a really skilled fighter, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves.
I don't know what that has to do with this.
He just kind of looks like a broke David Michaud.
The UFC pay-per-view deal with ESPN Plus in Canada it doesn't affect us at all.
You know what? Like,
Canadian MMA,
we're in a perfect storm.
We really are.
That's why, like, I had to put the Team Canada jersey on tonight because we're just living it up. I mean, you got the money grab in the States for the pay-per-views. You got the money grab with DAZN.
Number 2.
I'm gloating now because we locked in our DAZN deal for a whole year. Now, it is $149.99 is what I paid for a full year DAZN in Canada. In the States, I see if you sign up for a full year instead of $20 a month, now it's $100 for a year. Up here, it's $20 a month. Normally, that's what it was before. and you only get Bellator in Combat. You don't get KSW 47 tomorrow, so that kind of sucks.
But
I gotta buy it, but either way.
There's one KSW every 2 or 3 months, so it's not like you're dishing that.
The Great American... I mean, we're used to higher prices up here on everything anyway. So, yeah. The only thing that isn't higher priced up here, fruits and vegetables. And milk. We talked about that on here before.
Yeah. Canada's pretty good.
Closing in on 3 minutes remaining here. Round number 2. Noni on top.
Lavine's done some better work in this. Or Lavine. I keep on thinking Zach Lavine, the basketball player. But this has been... It's like a really good prospect who shouldn't be fighting on a main card yet versus a guy who just shouldn't be fighting at Bellator.
And that was one of the things that I raised, before the card started, the fact that John McCoppa took on AJ McKee, Bellator 205 in the main event, and now he's fighting a guy who's 18-11 in the middle of the road on the prelims. Like, it just seems silly to have a guy who's 1-1 versus a guy who's 21-4-3 or 2. He's got 2 or 3 draws. It just doesn't make sense. And they've been pushing John McCoppa in some of these previews that they've been showing every week on DAZN. They've been pushing John McCoppa with the translator, answering questions, whatever. So it's just kind of weird that that's the decision they went with.
Stoppage right here.
Yeah, Noni just kind of hammering away here.
Let's get her to jump to the back.
Just keeps hammering away. But as far as prospects are concerned with Bellator, you had Vladimir Tokov earlier on the prelims just not look good at all against a regional fighter. So kind of back at the drawing board. They showed his brother, who's coming up later on, Anatoly, who's legit like a threat. He beat Alexander Slemenko in his last fight.
Yeah, no, he's really good.
He is really, really good. But his brother, Vladimir... Now he's 4-0. I mean, both guys, they're Team Fedor guys, but Vladimir needs some work. I know he's a young guy. He's only like 22 years old, but he gassed 3 minutes into the fight.
Never a good sign.
Never, especially 155.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good. As Noni gets the back, but a minute and a half remaining, just under that. Lavine's just getting... I mean, I wouldn't say round 1 was a 10-8. Now you got a head and arm choke here from Noni.
He's going to win.
Yeah, especially when you see punches like that.
Well, no. That's just how you defend it. But unless he just doesn't have it in the right way. But yeah, he should be able to finish this. He's going to try to push his
just kind of laying on him.
Hook his leg. So what he's going to do is he's going to hook his left leg to Lavine's left leg. Oh, no, he got it anyways.
And that's the end of it. So old Norbert getting the win. Norbert Noni Jr. moves to 4-0. He's got 3 submission wins on his pro record, beating now 1-2 Will Lavine. Matt, your thoughts?
I mean, it was a fight for sure.
It happened.
It was pretty one-sided. Would I watch it again in my own time? Probably not. Yeah. Will I see Zach Lavine probably next week at the Olive Garden taking orders? There's a good chance.
You mean Will?
Will, whatever.
Zach's making about 20 million.
Yeah, Zach's a baller.
Yeah, Zach's former dunk champ.
Yeah,
so.
Very rich.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be competing in Bellator anytime soon.
That was such a dumb... I know we've talked about this. That was such a dumb poll that the UFC put out. Who would be the best athlete to go into MMA? Of course it's LeBron James. There's not even a question.
Yeah, I mean, to sound like an echo chamber.
The best athlete ever. Of course. I don't even like LeBron. I like the Raptors, and he kills them all the time, but...
Yeah, LeBron's the best pure athlete out of any sport
6'9",
of all time.
Yeah. Has a 43-inch vertical.
Yeah, there's not really much of competition there. But thanks again for joining us in the poll. Nobody's voted. So, Matt, we didn't really make our picks before this. Didn't really have a whole lot of time. But Tokov and Gerald Harris, again,
I'm cheering for Gerald Harris, but I don't think he's going to win.
No, Gerald Harris means well.
He does. Nice guy.
Been on the show, like I said. Anatoly Tokov looks legit at 185. He could be, one of those top contenders, a guy that maybe takes on Gegard at some point.
I'd ask you to slow your roll when you're saying that.
27-2 at age 29. The one loss, recently. First of all, one loss to Magomed Karimov, who's a really, really legit Russian fighter. And then another loss to Ramzan Ameev, who's, UFC fighter. So,
but he's not like a great UFC fighter. It's not like he's losing to Mirko Krokop or something. Like,
I mean, you look at the wins over his career.
I've never heard of them.
Albert Duraev, M1 champ. Let's go down through the list.
Be honest, can you name 3 of them and like actually recognize them? AJ Matthews isn't very good, so let's not count
Albert
that.
Duraev,
Okay.
AJ Matthews, and
good.
Alexander Shlemenko.
Shlemenko's his best win by far.
Yeah, Shlemenko's legit.
Who's
win.
extremely inconsistent though, especially as of late.
Yeah, I mean 3-round decision, but he owned that decision win.
He did for sure, but like if you look at who Shlemenko or
the Bruno Silva knockout was terrible to watch.
Yeah,
and
like,
Gegard,
he had lost,
and he won that Gegard fight.
Oh, really? Because the record seems to say he lost, and it was unanimous. So I think he lost. But yeah, no, it's not like beating Shlemenko is going to say, "Hey, you're ready to fight Mousasi for the title."
No, but I mean, a win over Gerald Harris is definitely going to set him up a lot better. So I'm taking Tokov in this fight. He's actually not, like, as far as the odds are concerned, they're not too far apart. So might not be a bad one if you're going to make a pick. In Moldavsky and Vassell, Vassell's been off for forever.
Hot minute.
Like, we haven't seen Linton Vassell in a very long time.
Get head kicked a little while ago, and that was about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I see a fight that they just made. Phil Davis is going to be taking on Liam McGarry. They're going to have that fight again. And Phil Davis is just going to run a truck.
There's nothing I want to see more than 30 takedowns in 25 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a Phil Davis onslaught of attacks. So,
but it's not. Have you seen their first fight?
Yeah, I have. Yeah,
it's like punch, punch, takedown. You get back up, takedown. You get back up, takedown. Don't say I'm a casual because I don't love pure wrestling. It's just do something with your takedowns. That's all. I don't think takedowns count that much if you don't do anything with them.
Yeah, but I mean, you go back and you watch Phil Davis's last fight. I mean, the crazy head kick knockout.
He lost to what's his name?
Oh, he lost. But before that, he had the head kick Bellator 200.
Linton Vassell?
I mean, it was a
you
good
head
knockout.
Linton Vassell's not going to change the course of history.
Okay, so let's focus in on this fight. Linton Vassell, 18-7,
Just
the 1-0 contest. He's
been knocked out in 2 straight.
Lost his last 2. Wins over the champ, Liam McGarry, Francis Carmont, Emmanuel Newton, who's been in Bellator forever. Liam McGarry, at one point. He was at one point.
Okay.
Win over Sokaju. That doesn't mean a whole lot.
Especially not in 2015.
No, and for Moldavsky,
who's going to win?
A lot of time in Ryzen. Won his last 2 in Bellator, but beating guys like Ernest James and like, it just doesn't mean a whole lot.
But he's way bigger.
He is, and if you look at that split decision loss to Amir Ali Akbari, one of ACB's top heavyweights, and they do have a good heavyweight division. And then in your main event, you've got Emmanuel Sanchez coming off that loss to Patricio Pitbull. And it's funny because in the promos for this event, Big John is selling this as, oh, that fight was super close. It was super entertaining. It was super entertaining.
It was.
And I did have Emmanuel Sanchez winning 2 rounds.
So did I.
Yep.
But it's just the rounds he won were kind of close rounds, and the rounds that Pitbull won, he put it on. It was a phenomenal fight. Like if you have,
it was like a come from behind Patricio.
Yeah, like Emmanuel Sanchez came out really strong. He seemed to kind of wobble Patricio, especially in the early parts of the fight. But then as the fight kind of wore on, Patricio found his range, and when he starts, he's so much better than his older brother. Like people compare the 2 together, but like small Patricio, I guess he's fighting at 155.
Patricky
is good, but he's more of a brawler.
He's not reckless and makes mistakes.
Exactly. He's not the technician. Patricio, on the other hand, he's very patient. He lands big power shots. He's a way better grappler, too. Like, if the fight goes to the ground, he's really good at getting back up to his feet. And I think he has a good chance against Michael Chandler, to be completely honest. But I'm sure we'll talk about that.
So, I mean, as far as this main event's concerned, you know, we've got the conversation with Karakhanyan.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanchez is going to submit him, though.
We'll play it at some point when we're not as fired up, because I'm sure they're going to drag out this card. So Karakhanyan making the walk in. He's got Juan Archuleta next to him. He's been training with the training lab, so main training partner. Obviously, not just Archuleta, but former UFC bantamweight champ.
One juicy boy.
TJ Dillashaw. And he talks about that in our conversation. Looking forward to this rematch, of course. Sanchez won the first fight by a majority decision. Really close fight. Georgi Karakhanyan's one of those guys that I've been pretty high on for really... I have been high on him.
Sanchez has definitely improved a lot more since their last fight between the 2 of them. So you would imagine if we have a close fight, but I won in the first one, and I've made way more improvements by the second, I'll probably win far more convincingly.
I mean, Emmanuel Sanchez is good pretty much everywhere.
And I know he doesn't have a lot of knockouts on his record because we just pulled it up. But with Sanchez, a lot of his submissions comes from his striking. So he'll drop you on the feet, and then once the fight goes to the ground, he'll choke you out.
Yeah, he's got such fast hands. He's got the submission ability.
Really long, too. Like, he uses range really well. He throws a lot of good kicks. He's got a good jab.
Yeah, and training at Rufus Sport, I mean, he's got top guys to train with
Paul
there as
Felder,
well.
Anthony
The Pettis
Pettis.
brothers. John McDessie, who's kind of resurgence right now, fighting tomorrow night.
Tyron Woodley, Paul Felder. I guess I just said that.
But yeah, the list really does go on for El Matador and Georgi Karakhanyan. Pretty much the same list of good guys to work with. Aaron Pico's another one of those guys at the training lab.
Yeah.
28-8, 14 of 28 wins coming by way of submission. He has one no contest on his record. That was his last fight, which was a disqualification win overturned to a no contest. Not by a commission, but by the promotion. And then they cut him because...
And I don't know if you guys know who owns ACB now.
He said mean things that he shouldn't have said, but that's all ridiculous. And so
wait, that's actually what it was?
I'm not going to say what he said, but...
But still, the dictator...
Yeah, cut him because he said mean things.
That's
so
actually really funny.
That's where Georgi Karakhanyan is. Again, in the interview, he talks about it more than I will. But, yeah, I mean, he beat Timur Najibin, who's a really big prospect over there. He's a Team Shlemenko guy.
Beat Bubba Jenkins a couple of times. We know that means a lot.
Georgie did. But as far as Najibin's concerned, he had... Andrei Korshkov in his corner for that fight, and there are a lot of...
Korshkov corners quite a few guys.
He corners a lot of guys for Team Shlemenko, so kind of interesting with Najibin. Maybe keep an eye on him. He hasn't fought since that fight back in November against Karakhanyan. You look at Karakhanyan, he got cut from Bellator after losing to Henry Corrales, who now
it happens.
Looks quite a bit like he just keeps gaining and improving, and that loss was back in January of last year, so he had those 2 fights over in ACB, a win and a wink wink and no contest. It was a win. So, and he said that too. I'm coming off of 2 wins more or less, and disagrees with it, and I do too. You can go back. There's an article FightNightPicks.net, but
if a murderous dictator is now the moral compass for what can and cannot be said, I don't think I'll trust his word that much.
Matt and I talked about this on the latest episode of This Week in MMA, and also worth noting that in the episode,
by Ramzan Amir.
Ramzan Amir. Either way, we had Gary Tonin on the show, so that was pretty cool to have Gary back on the show. But as far as Georgie's record's concerned, you talk about the win over Bubba Jenkins, a win over Lance Palmer. Georgie was former WSOF featherweight champ with that win over Palmer. Palmer right now the PFL featherweight champ, so he is good. Now,
he didn't have a lot of competition though in that PFL tournament.
Yes, Steven Seiler, but
Lance
still,
Palmer's good, but the fact that we're saying he's a former champion isn't really telling you the whole story. He's good. He's not great.
Where I'm going with this, if you look at Georgie's record, his losses are only to really good competition. Corrales, Emmanuel Sanchez, Pat Curran, Daniel Weichel, Rick Glenn, Patricio, Joe Warren, and then Chris David in 2008, but who cares about that? So realistically, it's a highly skilled fight. They're giving us a bit of a preview for Syed Awad taking on Brandon Gertz, which is a fun fight.
It is, but if it goes past the first round, Syed Awad has no cardio.
No, and Syed Awad's another one of those guys that trains with all the crew at Training Lab.
He's good, but he has 1 round in him.
That's exactly. And Daniel Strauss, former champ, coming back, taking on Shane Crutchin.
That could be fun.
That should be fun. Hopefully, Strauss is doing well, as now we see him.
He's got a big old
right there
between them eyebrows.
Marty's pumped for tomorrow. Big fan of Wonder Boy.
Now, I don't know if you heard our show on... What night did we do? Wednesday?
Wednesday night, but it came out Thursday.
Okay, so I don't know if you watched our Thursday show, but Craig and I both picked Wonder Boy. But the more I'm watching... And the more that I'm lying to myself, I think, more than anything, I think Anthony Pettis does have a chance to win. I think if Wonder Boy darts in and Pettis can catch him with something similar to what he had to do with Tony Ferguson, like keep on waiting to time Wonder Boy doing those like karate blitz, and he can catch him, he's going to have to catch him with hands because I don't think he'll be able to kick Wonder Boy very well, especially not up top. But if he can catch him with hands and drop him, he can definitely submit him. His jiu-jitsu's way better. It's not even close. I just don't think... If we're thinking about this logically, what does Pettis do better than Wonder Boy? One thing, he has way better jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, jiu-jitsu's the only thing.
But Wonder Boy is impossible to take to the ground. Tyron Woodley couldn't do it. Like, no one's really been able to take Wonder Boy down consistently. Matt Brown did in, 2012. But other than that, he's got pretty much
the only thing I would say, and you and I are going to agree on this one, and, love him or hate him, with Tyron Woodley... It was almost like he would fight to the ability of the guy that he's fighting, or fight to the style, of the guy he's fighting. So with a guy like Wonder Boy, didn't really need to take him down, had to be defensive with the strikes. He
definitely should have.
He should have. He should have. He didn't.
I know, I'm just saying.
He didn't. That's my point, though. That's why you didn't really see the takedowns
And hey,
in those fights.
don't forget, the first Wonderboy Tyron Woodley fight was so good.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone goes, oh, the Woodley fights were bad. No. The second one was terrible. The second Woodley fight was garbage, and I'll never watch it. But the first one was a draw. I did think Wonderboy won 3 rounds. And Woodley got a 10-8 in the third. But that first fight's amazing. Like, they hurt each other. Wonderboy gets dropped 7 times and somehow keeps on getting up. Like, it's a phenomenal fight.
Unemployed Mario Yamasaki asks, what happened to Strauss? Great question. Motorcycle accident. That's what happened to him. So he's been out for a really long time. Oh. And I'm glad to see him back because he's had some wars in Bellator. He's one of those original guys, like maybe not original, but like Michael Chandler, Douglas Lima, Koreshkov, guys like that.
Maybe not as skilled as those guys.
Will Wonderboy get the title shot if he wins? No. And the reason being, he's already had his shots.
I don't think so, but he had his shots against Woodley. He's beaten everyone not named Tyron Woodley.
I don't see it. I think he needs 2 wins.
I think Masvidal winning last weekend helped Wonderboy's case tremendously. I think if Till had won, because Till still has that win over Wonderboy, I went back, rewatched the fight. I do think Till won that. But Wonderboy beat the shit out of Jorge Masvidal, and then Masvidal just knocked out Till. So they've got pretty short memories. So a lot of people forget the loss that Wonderboy had to Darren Till. And yeah, I do think if Wonderboy beats Pettis, it still doesn't do that much for him. I think he needs to beat a ranked welterweight, and then he'll get the title shot. So maybe if he wins this, fights like a Ponzinibbio. I know he wanted
rubber match with Woodley.
No,
that's what the people want to see. That's what the people want to see.
Rubber match would be if they both won.
Yeah, I know.
If he fought like maybe a Leon,
the trilogy fight.
If he fought like a Leon Edwards, if he fought maybe a Robbie Lawler, that could be good. He needs a ranked welterweight.
Yeah, this fight, to me, it means nothing.
It's going to be fun. I really do think it's going to be a fun fight, but yeah, it doesn't mean much.
It's money for Stephen Thompson, so he can go play around with Chris Weidman. But other than that,
will make good money too.
Yeah,
main events, you'll make extra.
I mean, he might actually get another taste of that Wheaties money, but realistically,
that Wheaties money's big money, Craig.
It doesn't mean a whole lot. So if you look at the welterweight division, you've got Woodley at 1, Covington 2, Thompson 3. At 4, you've got RDA. Which is silly. At 5,
really. He's only lost to the champ at number 2.
Jorge Masvidal. Then you got Askren Till. So Askren's got to be in the mix for a title shot. Just based.
Wonderboy's a bad matchup for Ben Askren too, because Wonderboy moves so weird that I don't know if Askren's gonna be able to like zombie walk his way in and get. Askren, is going to be able to just like zombie walk his way in and go for a takedown because Wonderboy's going to light him up on the feet.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I like the name Baskren. You should start calling him that. But still, if you look at these rankings, I think just based on the marketing machine and the promotion, with Ben Askren, you can almost kind of say, well, he beat the former champ. I want to see the rematch.
But a lot of people remember Robbie Lawler not as the guy who had those wars. They remember him as the guy who lost to RDA.
I don't know who those people are, man.
I think a lot of people remember the RDA fight because Rafael dos Anjos beat the brakes off Robbie Lawler not that long ago.
Those are silly people that don't like fighting.
Well, no, it just means RDA is really good, that's all.
And RDA at 4. So it's a weird division right now. It's almost like the middleweight division a year and a half ago.
Well, it's like the lightweight division right now. There's 9 guys who could all fight for the title or who could all be champ any day. We're kind of getting clarity, I guess, with Anthony Pettis with Dustin Poirier fighting Max Holloway. But even then, like, Connor's going to do his thing. Tony, who knows what's going on. Hopefully it's better. But
here's a weird question for you. So, so many people deserve title shots. Welterweight stacked. And then you've got guys like the Diaz brothers. Yes. Here's my question to everyone at home.
Yes.
And to you.
I'm right here.
Let's say a snowball's chance in hell.
All right, let's get on with the question.
In the first minute, Showtime gets a takedown.
Yep.
And seat belts him and gets a rear naked choke win in the first round.
Yep. He's going to fight the winner of RDA and Kevin Lee because he already has a loss to RDA and they're all lightweights. There you go.
I think he moves back down to 155. That's the conversation that I've heard. Again, yeah, there's nothing for him and he's not going to win a title, but he could be a guy like Jose Aldo all of a sudden who's now bacterial infection tonight. But he's one of those guys that I don't think he's ever going to get another shot at the title.
All Aldo needs to get the title back, though, is for Max to stay lightweight.
No, I know.
But they're very different in the fact that Aldo beats everyone in his division except for the champion. Anthony can't beat everyone in his division. He's lost to so many guys. He's lost to Tony, Edson, RDA, Eddie Alvarez. Dustin beat the shit out of Anthony Pettis. So did Max Holloway. But, okay, the 2 rounds before that were all Dustin Poirier beating his head.
That was a rib injury.
Tony beat him. Like, he's a very fun fighter, and you're always going to want to watch Anthony Pettis fight. He's just not always going to win.
Now they're re-showing lowlights from Tokov taking on Ryan Walker.
Great fight.
And you cannot show a highlight from that fight. I watched a couple more prelims after this, and we went to grab a bite to eat. But this was it. Like, they're saying Vladimir Tokov winner by unanimous decision. It was a terrible fight. It was awful. If you're coming into Bellator and you get tired in the first 3 minutes of your fight at 155, that's not good.
Do you know what fight I think is going to be terrible tomorrow night? Curtis Blades and
Justin Willis?
I think it's going to look
you think it's going to be like Justin Willis and Mark Hunt?
No, I think it's going to be way more like a Curtis Blades and Daniel Omalanchuk. The fight that ever since when Craig saw that fight, I was big on Curtis Blades. I was trying to tell Craig like, oh, he's this really good wrestler. He's massive, and he just couldn't take him down, so he held him against the fence for 15 minutes. And but like ever since Curtis Blades, if he's on, he just takes people down and murders them on the ground, especially the Alistair Overeem fight. But I think if he can't take down Justin Willis, he's just gonna hold him up against the cage because he doesn't have great stand up. He's got good stand up. Willis is weird.
Justin Willis looked like a prize fighter against Mark Hunt.
But he didn't
with the jab.
Yeah, he jabbed,
moving around.
Moved, and jab. Mark Hunt also didn't want to be there. It looked, and that was the worst he's ever done. Justin Willis is such a. I don't like Justin Willis. I understand some people trying to sell fights, and like have your own personality. That's always been my thing. That's my problem with like Gallagher there in Bellator. I couldn't think of his first name for a second. James. And like be your own person. I hate it when people just try to copy other people's gimmicks. It bothers me to no end. And he's just trying to do like the Colby Covington thing as Justin Willis is.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I look at it is if you take Shroom Tech and some of the Onnit products, and then if you get really into DMT, you'll expand your mind.
Well, of course.
Oh, okay.
But no, it just...
So I gotta build my own brand?
Well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
No shit. We'll talk about that later. But, yeah, like, just be your own person and people can jump on board. Like, there's a reason Max Holloway's starting to get way more famous now, especially after the Ortega fight. Just be yourself and people are going to start liking you.
Because everywhere he goes, it's just another island.
Exactly. 10th island, 11th island, 12th island. He's going to fight all over the world. And then out of nowhere, Max Holloway's going to be the leader of the Illuminati because he's just taking over everywhere.
Yeah, him and Jay-Z. But they're showing us that crazy... Tokov-Filipovic win. Filipovic wasn't a super
that's the Shlemenko fight.
high-level guy. Yeah, that Shlemenko fight, he was all over him. Like, that was a super dominant win.
Yeah, he looked very good.
I think a win over Gerald Harris, I mean, I get into an argument and then I gave up on Reddit because some people on Reddit are just total doinks.
You go on there too much. You take a lot of you get attacked personally on Reddit.
Oh my god, people are stupid on there. But one guy, so I reposted an article from friend of the show and friend of Craig, Kristen King. She had a conversation with Georgi Karakhanyan, as did I. She wrote an article about it and basically said like Georgi wants to get the finish and prove that he can get a win in the rematch. That was basically the article.
They all float down here, Georgie.
That was basically the whole gist of it. You were really waiting for that one. Like, you've been holding that the whole show.
It was such a good movie.
So anyway, I post that on Reddit, and somebody basically says, like, this fight's trash, like, this fight shouldn't happen. They couldn't find anybody else. So I posted on Reddit.
Yeah, that's what short notice is.
They brought Georgie in on 2 weeks' notice. It's a rematch. You can actually sell the fight somewhat and say it was a majority decision, before. So anyway,
he can definitely win this fight. Don't get me wrong. It's just I favor Emmanuel Sanchez tremendously.
I said to it, well, who else are you going to bring in? And the guy's like, they don't have a ranking system.
Well,
why are you commenting on a Bellator article, you dank?
Don't make an argument if you can't defend it.
Holy crow. And then I sit there and look like an idiot on Reddit. But that's just the way she goes, really. That's what happens. As we get the particulars on Harris and Tokov. Harris is coming off a loss to a draw against Racho Darpinian, who was supposed to be on this main card, but he's out due to injury. Tokov 27-2, Matt.
Harris keeps on talking about retirements coming up soon, and that's never a good sign. He's been doing it for the past 3 years, though.
I'll say one thing.
I'll tell you this.
When he signed with Bellator in the spring, wait. When he signed Bellator in the spring, 4-fight deal coming in on short notice against Lovato Jr. So he's had Lovato Jr. fight. He had the fight against, Yaroslav Amasov.
Yes. Terrible fight.
And then, so it's either this one or then one more and it's his last. he's been active. That's one thing. He also talks about the fact that he's into that comedy scene. He's kind of doing a...
He does do stand-up.
Yeah, he's doing a Brent and Schwab type thing, but
the difference
he's
is,
more likable, and he knows fights. And his Twitter, he actually controls himself.
I agree. No, I agree with all three of those points. It's just the difference is guys like Shaw and Bisping, who are doing stand-up now and like doing other things, have a big following going into that. Like, Michael Bisping was the world champion.
Yeah, Gerald Harris does have a pretty loyal Twitter following.
I'm not saying he doesn't, but like, how many followers does Gerald Harris have? Michael Bisping has 1 million.
Yeah, I mean... It's different. UFC champ.
That's what I mean. Like, it's hard to get into other stuff.
He doesn't have Joe Rogan in his inner circle.
That's true. That helps a lot.
Cody talking about TJ juicing. I didn't see it.
I remember it. And I'm not just saying this to try to be the smartest guy in the room, because I rarely am.
Oh.
But yeah, there was a thing, because remember, Cody went, he's on steroids. He showed everyone at Team Alpha Male how to do them. And then it made him look like an idiot, but Cody Garbrandt just is.
But then again, like we talked about this, whether it was on the show, and you got Harris on the outside in Southpaw, you got Tokov, blue trunks, red gloves, and Orthodox here, looking like a tank.
Both
guys really, really physically fit for middleweight. They're both throwing too.
Harris getting caught every time with that straight right hand. But yeah, and also, if I'm sure you guys have seen that picture too, if we have. But
nice level change by Harris.
He didn't do the takedown though.
He faked it and then hit a jab.
But TJ Dillashaw had a table full of like supplements and whatnot, and they all said like take 3 a day. Fighters are told not to take any kind of supplements. A lot of people don't know that. Like USADA says, don't take whey protein, don't take anything.
And you look at the biggest guy in the UFC that people claim is on steroids, and Francis Ngannou. Francis doesn't take anything for supplements.
He's afraid to take protein.
Afraid.
Exactly. Oh! Gerald Harris just knocked. Oh, it's done. No. Yeah, it's done.
End it, Kerry!
Get in there!
Kerry, you gotta end that fight, man.
That fight was done. Gerald Harris landed an overhand right from the heavens.
Kerry, Anatoly's still dazed. Kerry Hatley decided to go...
No. Gerald Harris, create some distance and throw a punch. Don't clinch, you dumbass.
Oh. Man.
If Anatoly can come back, he got melted by that overhand right.
Holy smokes, Gerald. The last thing that goes is your power.
He did like Peter Griffin did when he fell off switch.
Holy crap.
That was wild.
Man, Gerald Harris. But looking for the takedown. And that's the thing. I mean, a great wrestler in Harris, too.
No. I don't defend this at all.
Hey.
What?
4 slam knockouts. David Branch was twice up against the cage.
Yeah, and that's great and everything. But if you hurt a guy, don't clinch with him.
Oh, no.
Unless you can take him down right away, don't. Oh. Create some distance and hit him. I hate to feed a fed horse, but like most of the time when you hurt a guy, you don't go for the takedown right away. Unless you're like Damian Maia, but how many times do you hurt someone on the feet?
Gerald Harris, I mean, just wow.
Well, he's throwing this makes me angry. He's just throwing the fight. It'd be like, okay, when Edson Barbosa hurt Dan Hooker like 17 times and then he shot a double leg on him.
Hey, I mean, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Well, no, the difference is Edson turned a man's organs into mashed potatoes.
He looks like he's trying to break, and now Tokov gets positioned.
But he's not, because he could have broke several times.
Yeah, he did right at the end of that before Tokov moved into the dominant position here. Lands a knee.
If Gerald loses this fight, it's his own fault.
That's Kerry Hatley's fault.
It's not, though. You keep on going until the ref stops it.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of a weird decision. So, if you're Harris in this point...
Yeah.
What's game plan for the rest of the round? He already won the round. But if it ended here,
it doesn't matter though. Get the stoppage. Why just win the round? If you can knock him out, he definitely got hurt. He's going for the takedown now. Gerald Harris is not good off his back.
No,
he's a good wrestler, but a lot of wrestlers don't train jiu-jitsu that hard, which is so stupid. The best quote ever is by Sarah McMahon. Sarah McMahon said all she needed was wrestling. She doesn't need jiu-jitsu, and then she got submitted a bunch. But oh, that's so frustrating. The fight was over. He decided to clinch, though, for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Sometimes that's just your best bet.
But it's not, though. Hey, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, Tokov not going to steal around at this point, but...
if you're him, this is all you have to do for the rest of the round. Just get your head back into it. Free up the cobwebs.
Yeah, that's... I don't know. Going down through Twitter right now, Nolan King says, holy smokes, Gerald Harris just flattened Anatoly Tokov multiple times in the opening round. Somehow Tokov survives. We get about 45 seconds remaining. Tokov taken down. Why is he wrestling? By David Rickles.
Thank you, David Rickles.
Holy cow, Gerald Harris. Can't believe Tokov's there at all. I mean, it's crazy. And more from...
Henry Cejudo.
Ooh, nice kick there from Tokov. Tokov's right back into this one, which should not have
Gerald,
happened.
what are you doing?
Gerald's just working that clinch,
I'm
man.
sorry. I'm sure he's a great guy. He's up there with like Corey Anderson for worst fight IQ I've ever seen.
I've seen some... Oh, man. Oh, no.
If Tokov can finish him in this round after what he just went through, it's the best comeback I've seen in a very long time. Did he drop him?
No, it was a trip takedown.
Like, hey, Gerald, go to 10th Planet. Do something.
Yeah, so Harris
Tony
round 1, 10-9.
It should have been a 10-8, though.
Oh, yeah. It should have been a finish.
Oh, his nose is all sorts of crooked.
Yeah, Gerald's kind of bloody here now.
Gerald, you had one job, and you did it really well until you almost got the job done, and you said, you know what? I don't need no win bonus. And he threw it out the window.
Unemployed Miro Yamasaki, Corey Anderson, and Neil Magny. Neil Magny's fight IQ is pretty bad.
I like Neil Magny.
I do too.
You're 100% right. Neil has one weakness, and it's leg kicks. And you know what he does? Doesn't check leg kicks. It makes me angry. I try not to swear on the show. I'm like Alex Jones when he gets angry, and then he swears. I'm sorry. I know children watch. I shouldn't. I love God. I apologize. Who else has terrible fight IQ? Because now I'm thinking about this.
McMahon.
No. Cody Garbrandt.
Corey Garbrandt?
Corey, this is my favorite tweet of all time is Cody Garbrandt was told that he wouldn't go face first into his opponent's power hand by a guy on Twitter. He's been trying to prove him wrong ever since. Because Cody, he's so powerful and he has such fast hands and then it
he just drops his left hand.
But like some guys drop it from here to here. Cody goes from here and he just ties it behind his back and throws rights as hard as he can.
Gerald coming out with that wonky stance again. This is something that I haven't really ever seen from him.
Because he's not Lyoto Machida, so he probably shouldn't stand like
going low to the ground. I know he's probably going to try and block that body kick, which you saw it, and that was what he was in position to do, so I had the foresight there. Oh, going for that nice overhand left. But he got hit by a couple. Yeah, he's clipped.
Yeah, Gerald cannot take damage.
That's not good. Oh, that's not good.
Not like he used to.
Ooh, guillotine there for Tokov. Ooh.
Give Tokov every bonus.
Yeah, but don't give young Tokov every bonus.
He just submitted Gerald Harris. Retire.
Man. That's,
I think BJ Penn would have beat him tonight. I'm sorry, I'm just angry. That's not true. He would have murdered BJ, but just like you had the fight won.
Yeah. That's Tokov is tough as hell. What a comeback for Tokov.
As the great Jim Ross once said, tougher than a $2 steak.
I got nothing.
Like he walled him with a jab, and then he just kind of unloaded on him, got the choke.
Like physically, I feel upset right now.
I think it's quite visible how upset I am.
Like
he did blow it. No. It's done. PFL, Craig, call him out. Call out Gerald Harris. Do 2 classes of jiu-jitsu and you've got him beat.
If you're going to call out a fighter on the internet,
yes,
give up. Don't ever. If I see somebody at somebody in my comments,
I hate it when people do that.
You're blocked.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Oh my goodness. If you've got a gripe with them, figure it out. Debate it. I don't care. But don't at people. Like if I say something negative about, let's pick a fan favorite.
Gerald Harris right now.
He's a fan favorite, yeah. Or let's say I say something negative about Daniel Cormier. I mean, there's not much negative, but still, if I find something negative to say and then somebody goes, Daniel, are you going to take this? Smarten up. Don't do that. So you're firmly in that camp, eh? Which camp? Don't at fighters?
I don't like when people at fighters. Because every fighter does negative things. Yeah, no, you shouldn't at them. Yeah, like if you're saying something positive, yeah, you can tag them.
Oh, yeah.
But if you see someone say something negative about a fighter and then you tag the fighter underneath, I don't want to say I hope you fall down a flight of stairs, but if it happens, I'm not going to be sad. Craig?
I wouldn't go that far. That was too far. I don't like that, though. It upsets me.
I really think Gerald Harris should have won that fight.
Anatoly Tokov out of Team Alexander Nevsky, Staryoskol, Russia.
And we shouldn't take away from the fact that that's one of the best comebacks I've seen in a very long time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was out. He was done.
That, I don't know if that'll come back negatively on Kerry Hatley for not calling it, because Harris kept hitting, and then Tokov finally got up. I'm Gerald Harris. I would not want to slap his
We
hand.
say that like, oh, he should have finished it, but he did finish the fight for himself, so maybe he wasn't as hurt as it looked. I don't know. I definitely thought he was out, though, on multiple occasions. Usually, if you see a guy like who's sprawled trying to get back up to their feet, they eat a few hamburgers, then they go back down, they usually stop it.
That,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I'm still fired up.
I don't know how you couldn't be.
Question for the Americans in the room. Do you currently have Mountain Dew Baja Blast in the States? We do. It's got the Taco Bell in the box. You can drink the pop.
Very nice.
It's tasty, and it's going to make me happy again. And maybe I'm from the camp that I don't like tagging fighters. Maybe you're all right with it.
I don't like
We
tagging
can still be
fighters and
friends. We can still be friends.
I mean...
We can still be friends. It's fine with me. It's not, but it's fine with me.
Yeah, it's like you're tattling. It's not... It's
Anyway.
not cool. It doesn't mean that the fighter's like, oh, I really like this guy now. They're looking out for me online.
Anatoly Tokov.
Look happy.
Well, it's weird because Bellator does this on DAZN where they'll just kind of like not show commercials, but they'll show like arena footage, and also they'll zoom in on faces. And there's nothing going on in the ring right now. We're just waiting for that commercial to end on Paramount Network, but you got to try and find something to say. So what I'm going to do before our next fight, which is our co-main event, you've got Linton Vassell taking on Valentin Moldavsky. That's definitely going to happen at about 11 o'clock. We got a 6-minute interview with Georgi Karakhanyan coming up, one half of that main event. So let's hear a little bit from Georgi. Awesome, Georgi. Well, thanks so much for joining me. Congrats on getting back with Bellator. Could you kind of walk me through what it was like getting the call all of a sudden that you're main eventing against a familiar opponent, Emmanuel Sanchez?
Man, this is a fight game. Like I say, it just came out of nowhere, bro. It just, I signed a promotional agreement with them about 4 weeks ago, and then 3.5 weeks ago, I got a call to fight John Macapa, and I signed that. But then 2 days later, I guess the main event, that guy Grimshaw got injured, and they asked me if I wanted to step in, and I could not say no, so that was perfect for me, so I just jumped on that. But here I am. I'm going to fight Sanchez in a rematch next week.
And I mean, it's awesome to hear that. That was going to be my next question, but it's great to hear that you're going to be back with Bellator for the time being. And we haven't seen you in the Bellator cage in over a year now, so you had the chance to compete with ACA. I mean, they used to be ACB. What led you to choose to go with that Russian promotion over maybe some other ones?
We just agreed on some terms, and of course the pay was good too. But that was the main thing. I said, let me go out there and test the waters out there, and see my home country, travel back to Russia. But I did what I had to do over there, and I gained a lot of Russian and Armenian fans from there, and now that I look back, I never want to go back to Russia.
Yeah, I mean, the last fight definitely didn't go the way that you wanted. You had that tight choke going into the final seconds. Herb Dean kind of ended that fight back at ACB 90. They call it a disqualification at first, then they overturned it to a no contest. Do you think you were given a fair shake by the promotion to plead your case after the event?
No, I feel like that was a bullshit. They turned out to no contest, but it was strictly on them. They even told me that night they were not happy, that they thought they watched many fights and they're so experienced that I should have continued fighting after I got punched in the face. But I could not, that saying, don't argue with stupid people. So I did not argue with them, but they decided not to pay me my win bonus. And then on top of that, they turned the fight to no contest. Like, I don't think, you never hear those things, but, anything can happen in MMA. That's why I just, first 3 weeks, it was kind of hard on me because I'm like, man, I just got punched in the fucking face. And I got my hand raised, but I didn't get no win bonus. And I'm coming back home with less money. So, that's to that,
And I mean, You kind of alluded to it, but looking back though, do you think it was a good thing that you were able to get your release from the promotion, considering, you know, issues like guys like Robert Whiteford went through, for instance? I mean, he had to retire in part due to the contractual issues with them.
I am very excited, man, but you know, that they released me, and as far as I know, I'm coming out for 2 wins from Russia, even though they overturned it. But I'm really happy that they let me go, and I'm just glad I'm here in the United States.
So, moving forward, taking on Emmanuel Sanchez in the main event next Friday, Bellator 218. You know his style really well, having fought him about 2 years ago. And I noticed on Instagram, you've had the chance to train with some of the best guys in the business. Can you kind of talk us through some of the training partners that you've had leading up to this one?
Yeah, man. I mean, I train with Coach Sam Calavita. He's a great conditioning coach. And, I mean, I was helping Aaron Pico for his last fight with Henry Corrales. I'm sparring with Aaron Pico, man. It's fucking, if you're not on your A game, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out. I mean, this kid is so hard, and we would train, we would spar all the time. I sparred with Juan Archuleta, TJ Dillashaw, Cop Swanson, Saheda Watt. I mean, and the good thing about training lab, all the guys keep it real with each other. So if one day I'm not doing good, they'll put me to the side and tell me, hey, today you suck. Make sure tomorrow you come and be better. So it's good, you know, training with those guys, learning from everyone, and learning from Aaron Pico, learning from Juan. It's good.
What have you been able to specifically work on and improve on since the last time that you fought Sanchez?
I feel like I improved overall everything. I improved everything from wrestling to jiu-jitsu to stand-up to being patient. And I feel like with Sanchez, I got caught up in too much of his game, of just, throwing little punches, little kicks, and just playing his game. And I think this time around it's going to be a little different. So I just cannot wait.
So he fought for the belt back in November, lost the decision to Patricio Pitbull. Pitbull's moving up to have a champ fight with Michael Chandler at Bellator 221. So with the win over Emmanuel Sanchez, where do you think it puts you in the featherweight division?
The win over Sanchez, yeah, will put me on the top, but I don't think the title should be in the picture yet. I gotta beat up a few more guys, and I'm fighting to be champion. I'm fighting to be the top fighter, but I gotta keep things real. So I feel like after Sanchez, after I beat up Sanchez, I would like to fight a few other guys that I lost to, and then from there we'll see. But if they throw me in that tournament, I'll be very excited.
Well, really looking forward to it, Georgie. Thanks so much for coming on. Good luck with the lead up to Fight Night. And for the fans at home, where can they find you on social media? And if you've got any friends, family, or sponsors to shout out, let us know.
Yeah, they can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Georgie MMA. Sponsors, I don't know, we're wrapping up right now, a few sponsors, but the main sponsor is Original Grappler. I'd like to give them a shout out. And then all the friends and families that support me, thank you for all your support.
And we're back, and now I have the sound right. So, yeah.
Less fired up.
Reaction on Twitter is pretty much the same as everybody reacting at home and us here at our dwelling. Most people disappointed. And I'm reading a comment here from Justin Bailey. As far as DAZN's concerned, the new DAZN pricing structure pushes you towards a 1-year commitment and away from ordering the service for a one-off event. It's a radical way to offer streaming service in an age where free trials are the norm. It'll be interesting to see how subs increase and decrease, which is a good point, because rather than spending $20 a month, I spent $150 a year, which was actually a pretty good deal considering baseball is like $120 something around there for the season. Hockey's like twice that, so it's not too bad for the fights, for football, for all that stuff. That's what we get here. At least the FNP curse is broken. Last Fight Companion, I appreciate it. It is like a Madden curse. And
like the Drake curse, really. There's a lot that we could go by.
Don't forget, on the episode of This Week in MMA, we had the interview with Georgie. We had another interview with now friend of the show, the Lion Killer Gary Tonin, who's taken on Anthony Englund at One Championship, a new era, March 31st from Tokyo, Japan. It's a card with Eddie Alvarez, Demetrius Johnson, Aung Sung and La. Edward Folyang's on the card. Bibiano Fernandez is on the card.
Monster.
Like, it's a really, really good card. It's also on a Sunday. So usually you watch those JMMA events. It's like, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. That's what you're going to get with that. So we're going to be able to actually tune in and watch it, which is good for North American fans. And looking forward to Gary coming back. Yeah, we had Tone on. Check it out on YouTube. It's a great...
Yeah,
it's awesome. And yeah, he is great. We've had him on twice before.
Talked
he came
about
on.
Nicky Ryan grappling Uriah Faber.
Yeah, we did. His teammate. We talked to him in the last one. So the way that I structured it, it was supposed to be the two of us. For some reason, we couldn't get the audio to come through.
So I sat in the corner like a weirdo and listened to the whole thing.
Yeah, he sat there with his meat in his hand. But still, the way that we did it...
You said you weren't going to bring that up, but okay.
we did it in such a way that...
Now the secret's out.
Basically anticipating, A, we had Gary on a couple months ago, so I wanted to switch up the questioning, but B, most people have probably seen, if you're a fan of Fight Night Picks, just based on an assumption, that you might have seen the first interview, so I didn't want to ask the same questions again. So it pays to go back and watch the first one and the second one, because they're totally different. We don't talk about the same things. But we talked about George St. Pierre's retirement, because they were training partners. We talked about Nicky Ryan taking on Uriah Faber at Polaris.
How crazy is that? Nicky Ryan is 17.
It's crazy that he Imanari rolled Imanari and beat him. So that's kind of crazy. But we talked about Gary's next opponent. Anthony England's no joke. If he wins, it's going to be by knockout. He had that 39-second head kick knockout. And then he fought 2 weeks later and won that. So in this fight coming up next, you got Moldavsky taking on Vassell. This is going to be the third fighter from team, what is it? Nevsky, Alexander Nevsky.
Oh, yeah.
The Fedor school. So you've got Vadim Nemkov in his corner, who has already cornered two other fighters tonight.
Now,
we're getting one of those Big John breakdowns. Continue.
Yeah, so Linton Vassell, I'll do the Lanky Allen breakdown. So, Linton Vassell's best position by far is he has to be the one pursuing the takedowns, and his top position is really good. We saw off his back, he doesn't have a lot by way of submissions. We saw that in the Ryan Bader fight. Bader was able to just kind of take him down, hold him there, beat him up on the ground. It wasn't a great fight. It was a good performance by Ryan Bader, but it's definitely not like I don't know, it's not just a Gaethje fight. I don't recommend you go back and definitely need to watch it. And then we saw Linton Vassell in his last fight against Phil Davis. It was just a lot of kickboxing, really. Phil Davis he'd go for takedowns. They weren't constant. He would kind of set them up with his punches. But again, if he got Vassell to the ground, Vassell didn't have a lot kind of off his back to offer by way of submissions or sweeps. And then on the feet, Phil Davis threw it was almost like a Cowboy Cerrone. He threw 1-2 left high kick, and then he just flatlined Linton Vassell.
Yeah, and that was Phil Davis, wrestler Phil Davis.
Yeah, Phil Davis is not a great stand-up fighter. He has skills on the feet, don't get me wrong. He hits very hard. He's kind of slow. But, yeah.
And not rightfully so, but that's why we haven't seen Linton Vassell back. I mean, it was basically... take some time. So he's the guy that's going to be working with Steve Mowry, worked with Oezdemir for a good part of last year, but Oezdemir spent his last fight camp over in Europe because he had visa issues coming back to the States.
He definitely won that fight, and I'm still mad that they didn't give it to him.
Man, I'll get salty about stuff.
Like Ben Rothwell not winning his fight.
Ben Rothwell beat Blagoy Ivanov, who now has a fight coming up.
Oh, he's getting killed by Tai Tuivasa now, so that's cool.
And, I lost my train of thought.
And Dominic Reyes did not beat Volkan Oezdemir.
Yeah, and now Dominic Reyes. And you know what? Shoot your shot, but speak a little bit better if you're going to call for a title. John, I've been wanting you for 5 years. An interesting thing to think of, and they're showing Moldavsky's last fight in Bellator, which was kind of lackluster based on the competition he was facing. I
have a friend whose dad looks like that.
Yeah, the point I'm trying to make here is... Jordan Johnson with PFL.
Yeah.
Jordan Johnson was looking really good in the UFC. I had a conversation with him kind of offline. We were looking at bringing him on the show. He said, hold off because I'm working on a new contract with the UFC. And then the contract talks broke down. So he's going to be in PFL. And he would be my favorite to win the light heavyweight division.
I don't know any other light heavyweights in their division, to be honest. So
Sean O'Connell retired, so...
Vinny Magalhaes isn't doing it, I don't think.
No, and he gets tired. He gets sleepy.
Well, yeah, but if he's good for one round.
Yeah, exactly. But, Jordan Johnson, for my money, hell of a wrestler. His striking's not too bad. Undefeated as a professional. He's a guy you want to watch. And Now they're showing fights for Linton Vassell at
Should we-
265.
Should we really bring up the fact that he's 2-2?
Yeah, from 2008 to 2010, he was a heavyweight. 8 years and 5 months is the last heavyweight fight. Not much of a stat that
Weird
I
stats to bring up.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to talk about that one. That's not important. I mean, hey, it's interesting to ask fighters if they're gonna make a move, but then once they make the move, they make the move. It's just like
unless
asking
they're
John
Luis Pena.
Volante, John, are you gonna move up? Yeah, I would. I train with Stipe, blah blah blah, real boxers. Okay,
Chris
there's a
Weidman's a big
conversation.
guy too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Linton, remember 8 years ago when you were a heavyweight? Yeah, I went 2-2. No talking point. Jean was undefeated as heavyweight, though.
No, he wasn't. He lost to Lorenz Larkin beat him at light heavyweight. You're right.
Yes. So
How crazy is
Moldavsky
that?
taking on Vassell, it's crazy. And Linton Vassell can't wait till he has his next fight. Obviously, it was supposed to be with Koreshkov. Koreshkov's out. Kind of
Wait,
sucks.
who? What?
Yeah.
I know you said Linton Vassell. Can't
Or
wait
not
for his
Linton
next fight. I
Vassell,
was gonna
sorry.
say, what's going on?
Lorenz Larkin
Yeah.
was who I was thinking of.
Great fighter.
Exactly.
Good fighter.
So we get Linton Vassell. Not a big fan of his nickname.
What is it?
The Swarm.
Yeah, that's rough. Hey, Linton, I'll think of something better. I'll tweet it to you.
Yeah, it's not a great one. 7-4 in the Bellator cage.
Linton.
It is what it is.
No.
Like I said, if he's gonna get a win here against Moldavsky,
take him down and try to choke him out.
yeah, he's only got the one loss and it's a split, so it's gonna be tough sledding when you're taking on a guy like that.
And I don't think this is racist. Russians aren't known for cardio. Like when I think of Russian fighters, cardio-wise, they're not great. There's one, it's Khabib.
There's some,
But cardio is definitely not a strength of their style. It's a very explosive style their sambo has, so it doesn't tend to last in the later rounds.
there's
Khabib.
yeah, there's okay. You're using a
Used
few
to
examples.
Fedor never had great cardio. Like cardio and the sambo style, they just don't go well together. You can't be really explosive and have good cardio.
There are some Russian fighters that have poor cardio. There's some American fighters that have poor cardio. There's some
But
English fighters with
the
poor cardio.
style in which most Russian fighters adopt translates into not having very good cardio.
Yeah, Valentin Moldavsky looks like
A big guy.
I want to take what he's taking at heavyweight.
He's not passing a USADA test. And we'll just put it there. We'll let that out into the open.
He's got pecs, and at 265 you don't normally see muscly pecs.
You don't. This man is...
Oh, they're wide.
They certainly are. He's got like weird scratches on his left that I'm trying to figure out, but
That was probably from last weekend.
probably.
But Vassell and Moldavsky, I will bring up the odds. There were odds on this fight, but they're only odds at one point on two fights. If you went on a couple different websites, there were 4 sets of odds. Moldavsky's a minus 134 to minus 140 favorite. Vassell plus 127, plus 105 on some
I'm surprised
sites.
the odds are that close, to be honest.
I know. If I were in the gambling world and if I weren't involved in the MMA JA, I would tell you to go with Moldavsky. I
Put
mean,
the house.
we're fight night picks. Take Moldavsky.
Don't put the house. It's actually not that safe of a bet. But yeah, Moldavsky should win. And for those odds, it would be worth putting money on. I never put money on Bellator just because I don't, but...
No, it's like putting money on PFL.
It really is. I got money on tomorrow. Do you want to hear the old parlay that Matt threw together for tomorrow night's fights? We've got... See, I went with Anthony Pettis because the odds are actually pretty good on him. So I think Anthony Pettis. Then I went with Justin Willis. I know he's I went with Curtis Blades because I feel like that's a pretty easy one to pick. Jussier Formiga should not be the underdog that he is. He's way more proven than Figueiredo. And Figueiredo, if he doesn't get the knockout the first round and a half after second round, he's kind of not that good. And then Macy Barber. So basically, if you get those 4 right, it's a plus 17.99.
Yeah, and that doesn't make a whole lot of sense there. And I don't know. They're odd odds for that whole card, and it's just a weird card in general.
It is. It should be fun. And a lot of the cards that you don't think are going to be good actually do have a lot of really fun fights on it. But
normally you can pick out prospects. You and I can pick out some of the fun fights. Yeah, Macy Barber is, but the first 2 fights on the card,
it's just
cool.
Yeah, they're just regular people.
And I mean, yeah, I can sit here and I can talk up. I don't know. I mean, I can talk up Bryce Mitchell and how his nuts are healed and tee hee ha ha. But realistically, there's a lot of fighters on here that are never going to crack a top 15 ranking. Gutierrez, McDonald, Eric Shelton, Jordan Espinoza.
Brandon Marcos, Angela Hill, banger.
I like that.
Not really.
I like that.
Alexis Davis, Jennifer Mai is not going to be a good fight. Marlon Vera, Frankie Saenz could be fun.
Bobby Moffett has a decently high ceiling. He has that controversial win over Chaz Skelly. You'll hear about it. Barbara's good. Luis Pena.
Missed weight.
So I saw this happen online today, and it was the first time I saw this.
I see Blades winning easily as well.
There was an anti-Pena sentiment, and it wasn't because he missed weight. It was basically, what has this guy done, and why do people like him so much?
Yeah, I've seen that a lot. Well, I think a big part of it was he was going on all week about how he could make 135, and then he missed 145. I don't like him that much either.
Couple that with the Trezano loss and how badly he got beat in that fight.
It's a terrible fight.
Yeah, it was not a good fight.
Look good on the Ultimate Fighter.
King says, nice picks, but I see Blades winning easily. I see Blades winning easily.
I just don't trust Justin Willis. He hasn't had like a breakout performance. Beating Chase Sherman means nothing, and beating Mark Hunt, who didn't throw anything back at you, doesn't mean an awful lot.
All right, we're just about to get ready here for Vassell and Moldavsky.
Like, if he beat the Mark Hunt that beat Derek Lewis, I'm all over him. I think he beats Curtis Blades, but he didn't.
Referee Jaron Vallel.
Oh, no nonsense, Jaron. Lynn Vassell looks big.
Moldavsky looks quick.
Does.
I like the movement on the feet from the Russian fighter here so far.
Physically looks bigger than I thought he would.
Yes, he looks good at 265.
Yeah, he's also on maybe that secret sauce, but who knows? Don't want to make an accusation, but also kind of. Both
guys coming out orthodox stance, meeting in the center of the cage thus far. Man, the movement from Moldavsky.
But he hasn't thrown it. Craig,
I don't care.
Seconds in,
Look at his footwork.
Back. It's not that great. He's just shuffling back.
The old overhand right that misses.
Craig, you are at half mass right now. I need you to calm down.
Vassell is stalking in, though, closer. He's starting to close that distance here.
Oh, good overhand right.
Ooh.
Good left hook, too. He might have hurt him.
Yeah, it looks like Moldavsky caught him in the back of the head.
Please don't ever shoot for a takedown like that. He just, put his head down and his arms out and tried to take him down.
About a minute in here so far. Vassell
trading right hands.
Looking for a takedown, looking for a single leg here.
It's a good idea because single legs against heavyweights tend to work, but you've got to try to run the corner one way or the other. You can't just go straight in.
Unemployed Mary Yamasaki says Pena in a rough place right now. I see zero path to victory.
I mean, he's a pretty good favorite for a reason. He has decent striking. It's just, if you miss weight and if you look at how drawn out and terrible he looked, if you miss weight and then your first reaction is to bend over and put your hands on your knees because you're just exhausted, it's not a good sign. You would think guys like Kelvin Gastelum and Robert Whittaker, who have moved up in weight and now they're champion and title challenger, you would think that they'd kind of promote other guys to maybe not cut a bunch of weight before the day of a
Linton
fight.
Vassell going for an arm here, maybe an Americana.
This is best path to victory. He's going to step over, though. Go for the head and arm triangle.
Yeah, he's working from half guard here.
He can slip his leg right through to get into mount. I think he's going to.
Yeah, he's trying to here now.
Yeah, he's got that easy.
Yep.
Oh,
nice reversal there from Moldavsky.
Nice. But good job for Vassell getting back up, though, not getting in a bad position. It was a good sweep.
Underhook apiece. Vassell in the dominant position here. Landed a little bit of a knee there. Yeah, it was a great job by Moldavsky to reverse the position, get back up to his feet.
If you're Vassell, though, this is what you got to do. You got to wear on him. You got to try to keep on taking him down.
Yeah, I mean, you have to think he would most likely have the cardio advantage, especially moving up. And you look at a guy... Now, again, neither guy weighing in all that close to 265. Neither guy had to cut weight to make it. But you have to think that that he would have a bit of a cardio advantage. I know you're playing up the Sambo Russian connection as more of that fancy footwork.
It's not fancy footwork. He's just jumping. Like, Craig, we've seen this in a bunch of fights. This is nothing extraordinary.
He looks like a middleweight that if you create a player middleweight and then you just took the scale button and just scaled the middleweight up to heavyweight, that's his body type.
You are on this man's cock tonight.
Wow,
you need to calm down.
That's just the way she goes.
He's moving like a regular fighter. He is not doing anything extraordinary. Linton Vassell looks awkward as all hell on his feet.
Yeah, he does, and that's the element of surprise that you got to look out for.
Him being bad at striking isn't an element of surprise. Tucking off's no Max Holloway either, though. He's just kind of throwing lazy right hooks.
Yeah, Moldavsky, I mean, he's trying to close the distance in there. He's throwing a couple of jabs here and there. He's throwing a couple of looping shots, but nothing's really, really landed for him as Vassell goes for another takedown attempt, like you said. Ooh, a double.
Good takedown.
Shoots it right into side control.
Oh, he tried to move over into half guard, but still, pretty good position.
Nice short elbow there.
That's what he's got to do. Try to get damage. This is a great position, too. Like, don't even go into full mount. If you have him in half guard and you can mount, like, you can posture up, you're still in a great spot.
Yeah, I mean, closing in on a minute remaining, if the fight ended right now, it'd be an easy 10-9 for Vassell with the takedowns.
Oh, yeah.
He's done a decent job here. I mean, we kind of lauded Moldavsky for that reversal, and it was good, but, I mean, yeah, Vassell kind of doing everything from the top here.
But if you're Vassell, you know when he's trying to roll you. Every time Vassell's trying to get his legs through, that half a second where his hips aren't kind of firmly level with the ground, that's when Moldavsky's trying to reverse him. So just stay in half guard. He doesn't have much.
Yeah, Moldavsky really trying to get his back. He was trying to get his back up against cage. He's got his legs hooked on Vassell's legs, so he can't move over into mount.
But that's not doing anything.
No, exactly.
Like, try to get into full guard. You got to push on the hip. You got to try to get recomposed guard, I guess.
Closing in on 15 seconds remaining here in round number 1.
Moldavsky's not showing much off his back.
No, not really. And I mean, if you're Vassell, going into your corner, you got to be pretty happy with the way that this round has gone.
Just keep on taking him down.
Maybe land another couple strikes. A little bit of blood coming from the Russian fighter here, and that's the end of the round. So yeah, easy 10-9 for Vassell there.
Yeah,
I don't think it's egregious in saying that. Yeah, I mean, the third of the Nevsky fighters. Obviously, we saw the two Tokov brothers getting wins. One a little bit... Well, you know what? I was just going to say one a little bit more desirable than the other, but Anatoly got caught, man. He got caught.
It was bad. I don't even want... Can we just not talk about that anymore? I'm going to get upset again.
Yeah, I don't know what fight we're talking about.
I don't either.
Exactly. Cleaning up the cut there on Moldavsky's face.
I don't think this is a very bad spot. Just when you get cut in the forehead, it bleeds like crazy.
Exactly. And it's not too close to an eye there either, so that's not too bad.
As we see.
The short elbow that opened it up.
Yeah, and like the ridge, I guess, the corner of his eye.
More than a short elbow.
You know, it cracked him for sure.
Yeah, great round for Linton Vassell in the old Bellator comeback fight. We haven't seen him in, it would have been May of last year.
But maybe that's not terrible. You're coming off 2 knockout losses. Let's take some time off.
Yeah. We get set for round number 2. Vassell in the blue gloves. Moldavsky in the red. Yeah, and I mean, if you're Moldavsky, we saw the looping shots. They pretty much missed. A nice overhand right there by him. Looked like he caught Vassell. Now he's
I don't think it was
back.
a knockdown, though. I just think it was more Vassell was...
Oh, the scrambles by Vassell.
Yeah, good job by Vassell.
Oh, boy.
There, he's got the leg, too. He'll be able to hit the switch. What is Moldavsky doing?
I think he was going to go for an armbar.
He was going for a triangle, I think. It just...
But it was either slippery or the technique just wasn't there.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit of both. But mainly the technique just wasn't there.
No, exactly. Now you got Vassell in his guard. And, I mean, Vassell in guard, he could stay here all day. He could Jake Shields this fight and go half to full to half.
Yeah.
And just move around. And he could win this fight. And... Listen, I mean, this isn't going to be a glamorous fight that's going to get you a title shot at 265, but it's going to move you up anyway.
Fight Matt Mitrione next.
Yeah, old meathead. I want to see him fight Haratonov. I was excited for that fight, but if I'm Haratonov, I want to save my nuts and my butt.
Yeah, no, that 3-piece set, you don't want that ruined again.
Nah, he don't want that smoke. So if I'm Haratonov, I'm calling for, I don't know, maybe a guy like...
Javi Ayala, 2. We main event that, too. We're doing it in Russia. Fight. Yeah, Craig, I'm a genius.
That's a fun fight.
Hey, Bellator, hit me up. I'll be your new matchmaker.
And then you can just show Javi knocking him out in 16 seconds.
Oh, a brutal left hook.
Javi's on the uptick.
Javi, hey, Frank Mir, what are you doing? Oh, MMA, what is it, a fusion wrestling match with Dan Severn? Because that's what I need in my life.
Bloodsport. Josh Burnett's Bloodsport.
I don't even understand. Is it just like a fake MMA fight?
No, it's wrestling. It's professional wrestling.
Just with MMA fighters.
There's professional wrestlers too, but yeah, Phil Brony in it. Nice double leg there.
So dumb.
Nice double leg from Vassell.
Like, I thought it was like a submission grappling thing.
No, it's professional wrestling.
Because those actually make money now. They're not just dumb.
Yeah, but Phil Baroni's known for professional wrestling. Josh Burnett's known for it. Dan Severn's done it before.
But none of them are big names in professional wrestling.
Like, I don't think they're though.
I know, but I don't. No. Phil Baroni's not getting a WWE crowd and a UFC crowd to watch Bloodsport wrestling.
Hey, he was on Fight Night Picks to sell it.
He was. I'm just saying, like, guys like Phil Baroni and Frank Mir are going to sell you a wrestling thing. I don't think it's going to do all that well.
I don't know. As we see, I mean, Vassell doing exactly pretty much what he's game planned to do. Look like he get into mount.
What a scramble.
Tukugov.
Wash.
Matt doesn't even know the fight he's watching.
I just forgot, okay.
Moldavsky doing another great job of passing through.
Well, not passing.
Now he's working from top position in full guard. Vassell with his back against the canvas. Just closing in on 2 minutes remaining.
Vassell
round number 2.
Out. Moldavsky's doing a good job following his hips, though.
Yeah, Vassell, like you said, trying to get out of this. It's going to be difficult if Moldavsky's able to keep position. See how the judges score this round if he's able to continue pounding on him, or whether or not
he's not even pounding. I mean, he's laying
exactly. And Vassell with the scramble here, trying to get back up to his feet.
He might not get it though.
And a good job by Moldavsky.
He has to get his hips off the ground. He can't just leave them there. She's got to push on his shoulders.
Moldavsky getting the back here. Vassell trying to roll out of it. Head and arm here from Moldavsky.
He might get it too. That's deep. That's deep.
Ooh, it's deep.
Linton Vassell's about to lose 3 in a row. Who won round 1? Linton Vassell won 10-9.
Now, we saw this position in an earlier fight, our first fight on the main card, and we wondered if it was tight. It was.
Okay, hook his leg and push down.
Ooh, he's trying. Ooh, he squeezed out. Wow.
Let's heat it up.
Round number 2, Moldavsky so far.
Vassell definitely won round 1.
Marty, yeah, Vassell won round number 1 easy. It was his wrestling that won it for him. But Moldavsky's coming back here. He's showing us some tricks.
Like, you're like Joe Rogan right now. Semi-biased.
It's a comeback right here in this round.
When Moldavsky does anything, you're like, oh my goodness, the best footwork I've seen from a heavyweight.
Tom Lawler does that too, the wrestling MMA thing. Yeah, it's prevalent. It's something that we see quite often.
I think he's just full MMA. Like, he does actual wrestling now. I don't think he does, like, MMA wrestling. Like, this is being marketed, I don't think, as a full wrestling thing, like WWE wrestling. I think it's almost like Japanese wrestling, where, like, they use actual MMA techniques just scripted. Because everything I've read about it, it's like a wrestling...
Alright, so let's have a read through. Legendary Heavyweights MMA Professional Wrestling Hybrid. Well, who wants to see that? So it's fake.
I just told you.
So it's fake MMA?
You got all mad at me and then just...
Who in the hell wants to see fake MMA?
That's what I've been saying. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can understand if you're an MMA fighter and you want to go into wrestling. That makes sense. Matt Riddle did it. He's actually really successful. Ronda Rousey's extremely successful. But don't sell me this.
Shayna Baszler.
Yes, there's a lot of people. But don't sell me this bullshit. Craig, it's all you.
Why are they selling me Wolf tickets? I can appreciate professional wrestling. It's not my cup of tea, but I can appreciate it.
There's an art to it for sure.
No, there's serious. Yeah, there is.
I'm not saying there
isn't.
It's
a great form of entertainment, and I was into it at one point.
We both were. But I don't want to see a fake MMA fight between 2 old men.
Or is it MMA? Or is it wrestling?
No. It's fake, but they're using MMA techniques. It's like Japanese wrestling, where they make it look real, but it's all fake.
Yeah, I can't get behind that.
Remember when he told me it was just like wrestling? No.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of baloney.
Yeah, because Phil Baroni said on the show it was...
Hey, Phil Baroni might have lied to you a little bit.
Well, Moldavsky gets the fight to the ground early.
If Moldavsky wins this round, he definitely won this fight. I have it 1 round apiece, same as you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and Moldavsky did come back for sure in that second round.
Linton Vassell looks like a fish out of water off his back.
Yeah, he was doing great on top. And he has had some half-decent scrambles, but it's been all Moldavsky the second half of this fight.
He just accepts the position, though. At least in Moldavsky, when Vassell's on top, he's doing some things to try to get out of it. He doesn't look great off his back either.
No, I mean, Vassell is trying to get out of it, but it just seems like...
But there's no technique. He's just, like, trying to get up. There's nothing... He's not shrimping, grabbing a leg, trying to roll underneath. He's not doing much.
Yeah, I mean, all Moldavsky really has to do, continue striking, continue with the top pressure. I mean, he's working from a kind of a half guard with Vassell kind of turning into it, trying to get back up to his feet, but...
Bad position for Vassell, though.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you do.
Does he get cut if he loses? It's 3 in a row. I don't know a lot of people who are buying tickets to see Linton Vassell fight either.
Yeah,
Thoughts?
Matt. I mean, about 3:30 remaining around number 3. He's not getting torched, but he's not like...
He's not the fighter he was in round 1. I think that's safe to say.
I mean, again, I'm still upset about the whole Gerald Harris Tokov.
And then I'm sorry I had to ruin the whole wrestling MMA fusion bout for you. I know you were excited about that while it lasted.
Yeah, I was pretty excited about that, and now, man,
I just ruined your day.
Man, that's a shame, but yeah, I don't know what to think. I mean, Linton Vassell has pretty much been doing the exact same thing. Now he's in a bit of a position if he can explode, he might be able to get back up to his feet.
But he can't because he's on his elbows, on his hands. You can't really get up like this.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he's just kind of... He's not even really fighting it. Like,
if you're Moldavsky, just keep on riding this. Keep on pulling back down, hitting him, pulling back down, hitting him. You don't have to waste that much energy because he's holding your body weight.
No, exactly. Now he looks like he's whispering sweet nothings into his ear. Yeah, we had the same Jinx Mountain Dew Baja Blast Jinx.
And it's a great drink. Hey, Mountain Dew. Start sponsoring.
Keep it. But yeah, I mean, this round's pretty much all Moldavsky. Like, if
it could be a 10-8 if it keeps on going this way.
I was going to say, if it keeps going this way, or if Jaron Villel ends the fight.
Oh, Jaron.
Now it's another head and arm attempt, but no, it's just a change position. Yeah, exactly. Now he's going for head and arm on the other side, because that's where Moldavsky feels comfortable. On Vassell's right-hand side. Softening him up with strikes, Vassell kind of turning into it. Eating leather to the mouth. Yeah, I mean, Moldavsky's just now, he's putting on a clinic at this point.
Yeah, this fight went from being pretty competitive to extremely one-sided.
Minute 40 remaining, round number 3. Matt, the excitement has just left.
Listen, Craig, I've been through such a roller coaster of emotions so far in these fights. It's just... my adrenaline's been shot.
Get it back. Think of the promo that we did the other day.
Oh, you want to see my skinny ass start dancing again? Because I'll do it.
No. I mean...
it's not free, but...
all Moldavsky's got the head and arm in, but he's not under the chin.
They're just holding him there.
Just kind of applying pressure at this point.
Doing enough to not get stood up.
Yeah, I mean, Jaron's not the type of referee that really likes to stand a whole lot of fights up.
Hey, this is a fight, guys.
Yeah.
It's a real thing an MMA ref said.
Yeah, I mean, minute remaining. This is just...
Hey, Linton! What was your game plan? Honest question.
I think it was to get a finish early.
Lay on my back and get hit in the face for 5 minutes in a row? Like... but especially when it's something so simple. I know they don't do live scoring, so you don't know what the score is going into the last round. But anyone could pretty much tell you that fight was 1-1 into the third, and you just gave up.
Yeah, I mean, Moldavsky's got the back here now. We're under 30 seconds remaining.
And they're not the most damaging shots. Like, he's not posturing up, landing big shots, but, like, Linton's doing nothing.
Now, this is a difficult question. This would be an easy question if it was UFC. Mm-hmm. This is a hard one where it's Bellator.
Yeah.
What the hell does a win over a guy who's lost 2 fights at 205, moving up to 265 do for you? It's a legitimate win.
It keeps you there. That's what it does.
Yeah, it's a legitimate win. It's a name, but...
Linton's got King Mo next, or I don't know. Does PFL have any roster space open? Honest question. I'm not trying to make a joke.
Well, I mean, Felipe Lins is their heavyweight champ.
Okay. Training
out of Florida. That was
Linton
just...
looks like he trained with Data 5000 for his cardio.
Yeah, he's drained, but that was quite the fight there at 265. I mean, Moldavsky, we both got him 29-28 rounds 2 and rounds 3.
29-27. That last round was 10-8.
It was a come from behind. Who was Fight Night Pick's favorite trainer coach? You know what? We need an energy break. We got to get back into this, man.
That's a good question, actually.
How are we going to get back into it? Can your heat? Strikeforce Energy. Head on over to the website, strikeforceenergy.com. If you enjoy the flavor of freedom, the company's veteran-owned and everything's made in America. They've got great apparel. You can turn any 16.9-ounce beverage into an energy drink. There's no sugar, no calories, no stirring, or no shaking required. They also have a line of different products as well as Strikeforce coffee. So if I head into my cart, I've got a 4-count sample pack. I've got a 20-ounce coffee mug. And if I head into that checkout, use the promo code FNP. Click to apply, and you're going to save 20% off any order. That's FNP at strikeforceenergy.com. All right, so that was a great question. I just want to see, okay, my timer still does work. So who's Fight Night Pick's favorite trainer or coach?
I'm sure we have different answers.
No, I don't know if we will. Mine, I mean, let's think of the big gyms. So you got John Kavanaugh at SBG.
Frost Hobby,
Frost Hobby, Henry Hooft.
Javier Mendez,
Mike
AKA.
Brown.
Javier Mendez, a.k.a.?
Yeah, I heard you the first time.
You were listing them, so.
Yeah.
Mike Brown. Duke Rufus.
Yep.
That's my pick.
Fedor Emelianenko, 3 fighters.
Greg Jackson. There's a lot of people. Edgy Bra. I mean, he's a great jiu-jitsu coach, but I don't know if I'd want him to be my head coach.
John Danaher, Renzo Gracie, Matt Serra,
a
Ray
good
Longo.
combination, I think, for especially if you're a California fighter, is I would do my stand-up with Jason Perillo, and then I would do my grappling with Eddie Bravo.
The weird thing with Perillo, and there are fighters that do it, but the weird thing with Perillo, it's such an exclusive gym. I know if you're gonna go to any professional gym, you got to be a professional fighter. You have to get into the classes a certain way, whatever. As we get our decision here, and
it is cool that a big company though was just we'll sponsor a whole gym.
Yeah, Moldavsky with the win here. Not a big surprise. How about Dwayne Ludwig?
Yeah, was great.
Antonio McKee's becoming a good coach.
He's good. There's a lot of good ones. But if you had to go to a gym, I need your wrestling coach, your striking coach, your jiu-jitsu coach. You get to pick whoever it is in the world.
Just one.
Yeah, one for each. No, one for each. You have George St. Pierre money. You can get whoever you want.
Okay, just time out. Freddie Roach, just one.
He doesn't do
one
kicks,
complete one.
Yes.
One coach.
John Danaher.
John Danaher would be my pick. John Danaher is my pick for the best coach out there. And
Team Alpha Male, no, I wouldn't go there. They're a dying gym, and I don't think that's just me saying that.
Don't talk over me.
Sorry.
That was a bitch move right there, man.
What do you want, Craig?
Kept talking.
Team Alpha Male doesn't have... They're a dying gym. None of their fighters have any wins right now.
Team Alpha Male's not doing very good right now. That shouldn't come as a surprise.
No, we're not the only people saying this. This is headline news if you actually...
Cody's not doing a good job.
Cody's not doing a good job. Uriah Faber doesn't want to be part of the team anymore. Chad Mendes just retired. Who else is fighting there?
Darren Elkins keeps losing.
Teruto Ishihara just got cut, I'm assuming. He's not going to be around for much.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is known to everyone.
Okay, great.
Who else?
The coach that I would have, reason being, John Danaher. If I could have one coach for everything, he's great at jiu-jitsu. He's a good striking coach. If you can kind of learn wrestling as you go with him as your grappling coach, you're not going to have to worry about it so much. And there's so many good fighters that train exclusively with him. There's only a select few. So that's why I would go with which Gracie gym? Danaher is at Henzo's. So, yeah, I mean, the Henzo's.
I'd go with Henner just because he'd be in California and it wouldn't be cold like in New York. Putting depth onto that.
Great pick, man.
I'd try.
If we want to break it down by...
one coach for everything.
Probably... I mean, Hoof's probably the most well-known striking coach.
See, I would go... I'd do Duke Rufus as my striking coach.
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Grappling, I would do...
Danaher.
I'd probably do Henner and the Gracie Academy, and then for wrestling, Izzy Martinez.
Yeah, Izzy Martinez.
Because he doesn't really have a gym that he belongs to. He just goes fighters pay, and then he comes.
Yeah, he goes to BMF. He goes to Jackson Wink. They don't care.
Whoever needs him, he's kind of by himself. He just uses other people's gym space. From Eddie. Oh, of course.
Now, Steven Seagal taught Anderson Silva how to front kick, so keep that in mind. Also, Steven Seagal is still doing wushu over in Russia.
It's not wushu, Craig. It's aikido. And I would like you to learn the difference for the next podcast.
He's doing these things?
He's throwing small Russians around.
Just a second. I just threw somebody through the computer with that, man.
I love it.
You got to understand.
Have you guys seen... Steven Seagal, at least back in the day, was in shape. He looks like he just swallowed 4 watermelons whole, and they just sit in his stomach all the time.
Man, Matt, you don't want that smoke, man.
He's terribly out of shape.
You watch what you say.
Just listen. He looks like he's eaten many small Japanese men in his pursuit of higher knowledge in the martial arts.
You're going to get what's coming to you, and you're not going to like it.
And I think, you know what? I'll say it right now. Steven Seagal, if you're watching, I'm calling you out right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Between Putin and I was already talking shit about the Chechen dictator.
And I'm wearing a Team Canada jersey, so now they're going to include me in this mess.
What's his name, anyways, the leader of Chechnya? I forgot his name. Kadyrov. Hey, Kadyrov, you're not a very nice person, and I don't like that too much. And I wish fighters would stop going to see you, no matter how much money you pay them. I don't like that very much.
You gotta watch your tongue, man.
It's not like Kadyrov's coming for me. We're in an undisclosed area. I like how
Parts unknown.
All he has to do is go back like one podcast and we just blurt out where we're from.
All right, Marty, one more final question. Let's hear it.
I like the coach one, so if it's along those lines, that'd be great.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many good ones.
Another fight out in the Chechen. The Nurmagomedovs make champions. The Chechens don't make anything except bad people.
No, there's not a lot of big Chechen names in the UFC. Exactly. Takugov is Chechnyan. Other than that, I know there are some. I can't rattle any off the top of my head.
Yeah, they have the promotion there. It's just not a lot of fighters are from that actual area.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at all the Dagestani fighters right now. They make a big deal out of it and whatever. But it's the thing that interests me the most is a lot of Dagestani fighters in the UFC, they don't all train at the same gym. There's a lot of them at AKA. There's Dagestani fighters at ATT. There's fighters in New Jersey with Mark Henry. It's spread out all over the place. Yeah. It's kind of interesting.
It is, but they all kind of come from that same base. It's true. It's pouring money into it. Yeah, I don't. It's stupid.
But anyway, for them. Up next, you got the main event. You've got Emmanuel Sanchez taking on Karakhanyan. You got the rematch. Sanchez 9-3 in the Bellator cage, tied for 7th most wins of all time. That's kind of funny.
Yeah, it's not very many.
Not really.
I'm gonna be driving home tonight. There's gonna be like an unmarked black car that's gonna follow me the whole way and like run me off the road.
I told you gotta watch it.
I really.
Karakhanyan wrestling with himself, it looks like, but nope, that's Juan Archuleta. They just both have beards and shaved heads.
Is Juan Archuleta getting the new? Is he getting the title shot next?
At 135?
Yeah, that was the rumor.
That's a half-decent rumor. I mean, I just want to see Darren Caldwell fight again. Nice. I don't think the Horiguchi fight's going to happen in Bellator. If he won in Rizin, I think it would have happened. But
Big John or Joe Rogan? Big John doesn't have the... Well, Joe Rogan wouldn't pass the drug test, and he openly admits that. He's on TRT and everything. But I think he has way more of a martial arts background than Big John anyway.
Yeah, Joe Rogan's got a black belt in Taekwondo from when he's younger. He's still flexible. He's good at jiu-jitsu.
Got that crazy spinning back kick. I'll give him that.
And if you listen to, it was JRE with Brian Callen this week. He talked about all the supplements that he takes. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what Big John's into for supplements. Probably just your average fish oil, and he probably takes an aspirin for his heart.
Probably just 5 Guys and mashed potatoes. That's all he needs. He's on that subbing stuff.
You can't get mashed potatoes at 5 Guys, but
which is unfortunate, but...
Well, their fries are too good, but Rogan definitely has to peak.
He's all peaked up.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have to get drug tested for commentary.
Exactly.
I mean, you could drug test me right now, and I'd come back for Mountain Dew Baja Blast. It'd be like
such a great product.
50% Baja Blast.
Craig actually can't give blood. Weird fact, nothing but Baja Blast comes out of his veins.
Kind of like an alien, really.
It's unfortunate, it really is.
Yeah, but either way, still waiting for Sanchez Karakhanyan.
It's a real problem.
You got the commercials over on the Paramount Network. If you're paying attention to DAZN, you've got an arena cam, basically. And it's not an arena, it's a casino, so you've got a theater cam. The one thing I do like about Bellator is how they throw up those championship banners, basically. And it's not an arena, it's a casino, so you've got a theater cam. The one thing I do like about Bellator is how they throw up those championship banners. It's kind of neat.
It is kind of, because it makes it look like, well, most professional sports teams have their own.
Kind of hard to see.
Mucking about.
Based on this cam that's just kind of roaming around.
Not a fan of this. Show me a highlight reel, do something.
Yeah, so you asked about Bellator 219. You've got Syed Awad taking on Brandon Gertz. Brandon Gertz we haven't seen in a hot minute.
Who is Mike Jasper? And he's...
Again, yeah, that's what I was saying. So Daniel Strauss taking on Shane Crushton. That's a good fight. Andre Korsakov's supposed to be taking on Lorenz Larkin. Larkin's out now. Andre Korsakov's going to fight Mike Jasper. Joe Schilling's taking on Keith Berry, who's 15-14-1. Darren Smith at 15-10 taking on Joshua Jones, who's 8-3. Sean Bunch, who looked like a beater in his last fight against Joe Warren, taking on Dominic Mazzata, who's actually really good at 135. AJ Matthews getting closer to 500, taking on David Rickles.
That's a terrible fight.
It's terrible, but it's fun.
Neither guy's gonna...
You've got Adrian Najira taking on Johnny Soto, 1-0 against 0-0. You've got Janae Harding, who's actually not too bad, taking on Marina Muktin.
I looked at that like Steve Harvey looks at the big word.
And you got Cody Vidal taking on Dalton Rosta, 1-1.
First of all, congrats on the pronunciation of that last name. Rosta. Oh, is Sports Booth working?
Yeah, Sports Booth says something went wrong with the connection. Refresh to fix. We're frozen over on our version of Sports Booth, but we haven't dropped any frames on my computer. So let me know if we dropped. But that's what it said right there. Is we're getting ready for our main.
Are we back?
We're good to go.
Sweet.
We never went anywhere. And Georgi Karakhanyan making the walk says, "Move your feet. Use that BJJ." Georgie's really good wrestler. I liken him to a guy, and I've said this before. He fights similar to a guy like Khabib. He's just not as crisp as him. No, seriously. His wrestling's good. His jiu-jitsu's good.
He doesn't have the same style, though. It's not like he takes you down and just beats the legs off you.
But he does a lot of things really well. Emmanuel Sanchez's bread and butter is his length. He uses that really well. He pressures a lot in his fights. If you ever watch an Emmanuel Sanchez fight, he's always pushing the pace. And his jiu-jitsu second to none.
It's only a 3-round fight, too. Which is interesting.
Which is weird, and
I don't like how Bellator... I know Chael Sonnen's big against 5-round fights, but...
One other thing that I want to mention, Emmanuel Sanchez is supposed to be in the Featherweight Grand Prix that's going to take place in August. He said with win or loss in this fight, he wants to fight again before the Grand Prix. I really like that. That was something that Lorenz Larkin said. I don't really want to be in the Welterweight Grand Prix because I want to keep fighting. Listen, I gotta appreciate it. You gotta make a living doing this.
But do you want to keep fighting and make okay money, or do you want to be world champ and make tons of money?
Emmanuel Sanchez is a guy that can kind of take some risks, a guy that trains at a Rufus Sport. You've got Gerald Mearshart, who's got a fight coming up really soon.
For some reason, Kevin Holland's like a 3-1 favorite over Gerald Mearshart, and those are the dumbest odds I've ever seen in my life.
Marty Usman says Violent Bob Ross missing weight.
But
listen,
he can make
man,
bantamweight though, right?
Yeah, don't ever talk about making bantamweight if you can't make 145 by what, 2-point-some pounds?
Remember when Johnny Hendricks was like, "Listen, guys, I'm a middleweight now," and then he missed middleweight when he fought Tim Boach.
Hey, man, you can't take IVs.
That doesn't matter. Tim Boach didn't take an IV. He just missed weight against Tim Boach in that fight.
Speaking of IVs, and 2.5 says Marty, thank you for that.
That's a lot.
Paolo. What's the scoop with Paolo?
Okay, here's the thing, and I think you might be slightly misinformed. It's not illegal to take an IV. It is not. You are allowed to take an IV. You just need the okay from the commission. Because the video came out, Apollo Costa, with an IV, and a lot of people thought that it was for him rehydrating. He could have been sick and got an okay for it. Like, it's not that big of a deal, I don't think.
No, I wasn't going into the IV. Why is he not fighting
He kept
Joel
on saying
Romero?
IV, because Jacare is now.
Yeah, I know.
That's a good fight.
What happened to
I
Paolo?
like Jacare. I don't know. Probably some USADA shenanigans. I don't know.
And they don't report them now.
Hey, Craig, he's built like a Greek god.
All I'm saying is look into it.
Exactly. And by look into it, look up what that man's prescriptions are, because he's on all the steroids.
I'll be honest, Marty. I don't think
people should cut a lot of weight.
No, I mean,
it's been shown.
You look at all these fighters that jump up a weight class. They're happier, they're healthier, and they perform typically better.
And I thought it was really interesting. A lot of people said about Daniel Cormier too. I think it was Chael Sonnen. He said he had trained with him when he was like in his 205 days, and he had trained with him in his heavyweight days. And the difference was a lot of Daniel Cormier's camp for a light heavyweight fight. Half his camp was just to get his weight down. It wasn't actually work on new skills. And you're irritated all the time, like you brought up, and I think that's a really good point. Just your whole attitude about fighting is so much different that it's definitely going to play part in showing your performances too. Like we saw, Daniel Cormier was one of the best, or he is one of the best light heavyweights of all time, if not the best. He knocked out the best heavyweight ever with one punch.
Yeah, exactly.
It happens all the time. Dustin Poirier is really good at lightweight. Robert Whittaker's the champ. Like, most cases when guys move up in weight, and not too high up in weight, like it's not a McGregor going to 170 or anything like that, but when they find the right weight class, they do so much better.
And then TJ moves down and he loses.
Yeah.
I'm going to list off recent names. Justin Ledet moves down, he loses speed and he loses. You move down,
the difference was
Justin
Ledet was never a world beater at heavyweight.
No, but he had a speed advantage when he was
did,
heavyweight.
exactly.
And then he moves down to light heavyweight and everybody's quicker. So Yeah, there's been a lot of fighters. Yeah, and listen, there's been fighters that go up, they go down. You think of a guy like BJ Penn back when.
Well, Anthony Pettis even.
Yeah, and Anthony Pettis too. But it comes to bite in the ass
and
quite often.
Don't take this. Sometimes moving down is the right choice. Like, it's not that you only have to move up. Jared Cannonier went from heavyweight, where he wasn't good, to light heavyweight, where he was okay, to middleweight, where he starched David Branch with one punch. Like, you just have to find the right weight class, whether that be higher or lower. It just, everyone has that kind of, you need that sweet spot, because once you cut too much weight, there's kind of that line of diminishing returns where you kind of go too far.
Exactly, as we're just about to get set. Referees Jason Herzog, he was up for...
a super heavyweight division? No, never. There's never going to be a super heavyweight division in the UFC. Ever. And I will say that with absolute certainty.
I will say this as Georgie lands a nice left there. I've got an interview coming out here soon with Rasquatch Hilton, who competed for the NEF Cruiserweight title back in November against Jorgen De Castro. Okay. He's going to be taking on a guy named Charles Penn Jr., who had an extensive amateur career but hasn't competed in 5 or 6 years. Charles Penn Jr. competed at super heavyweight in his amateur career, and he weighed in over 275. So it's crazy that the guy's going to make 265.
Ooh, good takedown.
Great job by Karakhanyan.
But no one wants to watch super heavyweight because there's a certain point where you're just not in shape. It's just laziness.
Emmanuel Sanchez going for the choke.
He's got like a modified triangle. He didn't get it.
Just looked up Charles Penn Jr. Yeah, and for Ras Hilton, 6'6". He weighs in consistently around cruiserweight. He said for that fight he didn't have to cut any weight. Man, Emmanuel Sanchez, a beast off his back. Much better than Linton Vassell in the last fight.
But that wouldn't take much.
Yeah, old Charles Penn Jr. A lot of girth on the boy.
But Karakhanyan's still really good on top. Like, it's not like this is, if it goes to the ground, Sanchez is definitely going to win by submission. Bob Sapp will always be the go-to super heavyweight. He really will be. That roided up Bob Sapp was almost unbeatable.
Bob Sapp, world beater. Bob Sapp's best moment was Nogueira when he powerbombed him.
He broke his back, but Nogueira still came back to beat him.
That's a good fight.
That is.
That's a fun fight.
Technique almost always beats size. That's the other thing, too.
That's one of my favorite things in my entire life, is going back and watching old Pride fights.
Not his fiance, not his dog, not his house, not his family. He just watches Pride fights.
I like watching old Pride fights.
Some of them are great, though.
I mean, Emmanuel Sanchez just looking for everything off his back. Georgie, again, doing enough to stay competitive on top, landing all sorts of strikes up there. Working for full guard, but you got to watch out for that submission attempt there from Sanchez.
Throwback Crow Cop too was great.
Oh man, throwback Vanderlei. We do that before our fight companions to get riled up. I'll go back and I'll watch Vanderlei Silva Pride entrances just to get into it. And now DAZN decided to switch us to Tokov and Gerald Harris.
Soccer kicks are just... how did anyone let Pride happen?
Or how about Shogun and Rampage?
Yeah, where he just stomped on him and kicked him, and
My favorite is, again, and I've talked about this before, Mark Coleman Shogun when he breaks Shogun's arm, and then Vanderlei Silva and Phil Baroni get into it, and Vanderlei pulls guard, and I had to ask Phil about that. Phil Baroni's one of those guys, I watch that Dave Mene highlight all the time. That's one of my favorite highlights. So for Phil to come on the shows, that was pretty cool.
He hit him 17 times in half a second. Emmanuel, we got to get back up to our feet or do something. You can't win a fight off your back.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to have the submission attempts, but Georgie's gaining that top control, and depending on how a judge might want to score a fight, this is definitely going to look better than working off your back.
Exactly. The only thing is Georgie hasn't done anything is the difference.
No, you're right. I mean,
I would say Sanchez won this round. I don't think most judges would, though.
No, I mean, Karakhanyan's gone. I mean, he has struck here and there. He switched position. Excuse me. Sanchez has gone for the same submission attempts over and over and over again.
But it's not submission. That should be a sweep. That's not really a submission. I know. You can't get anything.
And again, like I said, Karakhanyan doing enough to stay on top.
Vanderlei versus Crazy Horse. One of the best post-fight speeches of all time. Vanderlei! I'm an N-word, and I run fast. And he just starts doing laps around the ring, jumping around. One of the all-time greats.
Pride was fun.
It was so dumb, though, when you look back. No, but, they're just...
or just dream. You know where I'm going.
Oh, when Miller did his dancing?
Yeah.
But I used to like, too, how they'd have like 30 Japanese men holding the ring.
Oh, yeah, you couldn't touch the ropes.
So that all... It was so dumb, but so good.
Karakhanyan doing a lot here, trying to end the round strong.
I don't know who won that round.
I'm going to give it 10-9 Karakhanyan. I mean, Sanchez, yeah, he's going to be fine. He's not going to be winded or anything.
But still, he lost the round. You need to win the next two or stop it.
He lost the round there for sure.
Hey, Bellator, let's have 5-round main events.
Yeah, it's kind of silly that some of them aren't 5 rounds. Maybe that's something that you and I, maybe the next conference call, we ask Scott Coker about.
I understand that the whole like training for 5 rounds is a lot harder than training for 3 rounds, so your body goes through an awful lot, and you don't want to waste a guy's longevity when he's young, kind of coming up from 5-round fights. I understand that. And you take more damage in 5-round fights, but I feel like most people are just used to main events being 5-round fights at this point, and you want to see the best people fight the longest. Like, you don't want to see... That's why I'm okay. A lot of people are mad. They're like, oh, why is Poirier fighting Holloway? It's a 5-round fight at 2 of like the most exciting fighters in the world. Just be happy with it.
It's not going to be a first-round finish.
I mean, it could be. Both guys are... That's such a good fight. But, yeah, I just feel most main events should be... Unless it's a heavyweight main event, let's just make those 3 rounds. Not many heavyweights can go 5 rounds. There's Cain Velasquez, and that's it.
Stipe and Francis was kind of fun at 5 rounds.
But okay, Stipe, Cain, who else? Junior. That's all time, too.
Karakhanyan rushing in, then you
Good
got
luck,
Sanchez. Again, Sanchez pushing the pace. Nice body kick there.
Sanchez, you can't be getting taken down the seat quick.
Quick takedown from Karakhanyan. Same position that he had Timur Najibin in, and
before some foul language.
well, actually, I guess vice versa. He was in the seated position with the choke in, and it was weird. If you go back and watch that fight, you can find it on ACB's YouTube page when it was still ACB. I guess they would have changed the name of it, but either way, he had the guillotine in. You see Najibin's hand go under him, so you can't see if he taps. He does move it on the ground a little bit, and then he puts it under. Georgie looks up at Herb and says, hey, he tapped, or I think I felt the tap. Herb's like, you felt the tap? You can hear Herb say it. And he shakes his head, and then Herb goes, screw it, and steps in. And Karakhanyan thinks he wins. Najibin freaks out and punches him in the face. Then Karakhanyan gets a win overturned to a no contest and gets cut. So,
tough.
And that's kind of what started us on getting upset. And I was upset when it happened, because again, I enjoy watching him fight.
We've been all sorts of upset tonight.
Yeah, it's just been a fired up.
Remember the time Gerald Harris won a fight, but also didn't want to win the fight, so he just was like, nah, you can have this one.
Yeah, I want to hear that post-fight interview. Karakhanyan doing quite a bit, but it looks like Herzog's in there just to make sure.
Would it just be a bunch of Russian? I don't think. Yeah, a whole lot.
Karakhanyan's still working to take him down. Herzog telling Sanchez to get his hands out of the cage. He did kind of grab on there.
He did once, but...
Not as egregious as what we saw last week, though. Last week, there were plenty of fence grabs.
Hey, Safarov, I'm not a fan.
I saw somebody that tweeted back at me a couple times, had Safarov as their picture. I respect it, though. I respect it. Listen, I mean, he was born in the darkness.
He's not Bane, Craig.
Yeah, Safarov.
I merely adopted the darkness.
Jason Herzog standing us up here.
Karakhanyan seemed to complain about he got hit in the back of the head. I didn't see it, but I'm thinking about other stuff.
Boys throwing. Ooh, there was a knee by Karakhanyan. He was kind of on his back foot. Sanchez taking advantage of it.
Belly to belly suplex. You know what we might see that in? The Frank Mir versus Dan Severn MMA fusion wrestling match. The next transition in the world of combat sports. Back to you, Craig.
You're telling me you're not liking that. But no, Sanchez has got the back. This is definitely a tough position for Karakhanyan.
Not great. Karakhanyan's going to try to roll, though. Try to get on top. I thought he would. He was setting it up. He was cradling
these
himself.
guys fought to a majority decision the last time.
Yep.
This one's pretty damn close. We're about halfway through the entire fight.
Yeah. Sanchez definitely in the better position.
I think Karakhanyan might be able to get out of it. Sanchez isn't too high here.
But he can pull him flat's the only problem. He's got to hold there, pull. You got to push your legs, Sanchez.
Yeah, he's got one leg in, one leg
way better
out.
Than I am, Sanchez. Oh, see, that's good work right there.
Sanchez on the back of Karakhanyan. He's looking to get the body lock here. Now we're fighting hands.
You saying how the Japanese lady had to translate. That's half the best part of like Pride is the Japanese lady. If you look, she's like 55 years old. She's old. And she's just screaming these people's names. It's half the fun.
No, she's English.
Yeah, she's English. That's what I mean. She's old. Did I say she was Japanese?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, she's like this old white woman.
Yeah, she does Road FC now. She does Road FC. She also does Ryzen too.
Yeah, she gets fired up. Stream hasn't been great for us on DAZN this evening.
Yeah, DAZN's been really, really blurry on our end. A lot of buffering. We still have Sanchez on the back here. Karakhanyan again fighting the hands. If the round ended right now,
definitely Sanchez.
I'd have it Sanchez, yeah, and I've got it tied 19-19. If that were the case, we got about a minute remaining here, round number 2.
I mean, Sanchez is still strangling. He's got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, she's legit American. I'm trying to think of the entrance she did here recently. It was for Road FC. I think it was Road FC 52. And also, here's a little bit of news. Did you see, this flew under the radar, Michel Pereira signed with the UFC. You will know him as the moonsault guy from Road FC.
Yeah, he threw that like flying sidekick into a backflip.
Yeah, he threw a couple moonsaults. He's also the guy that did a backflip and jumped on a guy's face.
Yeah, that was dumb.
He's a nutcase, and I like it. I like it a lot.
I don't know if I like that kind of nutcase, but
he's
a special kind of crazy. He's like a Johnny Walker type of crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's skilled. It's kind of like signing Gokhan Saki. I mean,
not at all, because Gokhan Saki's the best kickboxer of all time. But
it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel, because you know you're going to get entertainment, but it might not be great results. But we're going to have some fun.
Disney needs to stop paying Canelo bases. Yeah, that might help.
Yeah, I mean, hey. They're charging us more so they can fix these technical issues. That's the reason.
Is Canelo going to fight Triple G for a third time?
Yeah, that's the whole point.
So. Good. Because I don't know anything about boxing, but I've seen those
You don't want to see Canelo fight Rocky Fielding again? He's got a fight coming up.
As competitive as it was the first time. I'll skip
Rocky.
I would like to see Jeff Horn fight Triple G. Move up a weight class.
I see these rumors that Manny Pacquiao is going to fight, like, who was it?
Oh, Earl Spence.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a hell of a fight, Craig.
Earl Spence wins that all damn day.
Have you seen Manny Pacquiao? Even though he's
old? I
don't
need to see old Manny Pacquiao
But you do. He's still a monster.
Is he going to dupe gamblers again and come in with a separated shoulder?
He very well could. It was a torn rotator cuff.
That son of a bitch.
What, you have a lot of money on Manny Pacquiao in 2012?
I had some money.
No, you did not.
Yeah.
How much? Be honest.
I think I had like $20 on Pacquiao.
Listen, and you've brought that with you for 6 years to bring up on a live stream? You need a hobby.
Boys, throwing here to start this round. That's the Sanchez I like. That last fight was good. Yeah, Adrian Broner is just a tool.
Yeah, he's real fat. He doesn't like...
Adrian Broner has strange world views
and I don't
agree with.
He also claimed that he won that fight, but he definitely didn't because he got his ass beat.
Yeah, what's Boxing Fowler's name there?
Boxing Fowler?
It's not Lampley. It's not
Max Kellerman.
No, it wasn't Kellerman. The older fellow there. Adrian, how do you think he made out? And then he's like, yeah, he kept saying he won the fight. Yeah.
And Adrian, how do you think he did?
He would have been a good UFC personality. Who? I mean,
Broner,
Broner would sell easy in MMA.
But that's because UFC loves the controversy.
Yeah, if brash fighters, your Connors, your Covingtons, whoever.
Covington's not really
your Bisping.
I think that's everyone's like, oh, Covington's the big
draw. Broner versus Covington.
Oh, that'd be fun talk, but it would just be so cringy.
Karakhanyan, I mean, he's got Sanchez seated. He's doing a good job. I said,
but he's not doing anything. That's the problem. He's not doing anything with the wrestling. He's holding him. It's very much a stalling position.
This is typical Karakhanyan.
I know it is. I can still say that it's very much stalling the fight. He's not doing much. He just need him directly in the groin, Joe Lozon style.
Yeah, well, friend of the show, Devin Powell. We'll see him next month.
Diamond Cup.
Now, did you see? Yeah, you saw the promo, but Devin Powell did a promo for Diamond Cups, and he's basically talking into the camera, turns around, and a guy walks in and kicks him straight in the nuts, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm all right. But if you go back, about a year ago, he got one of his testicles absolutely squashed.
I believe the term is murked.
By Joe Lozon.
Yeah, his testicle got 360 no-scoped by Lozon on the ground.
But head coach for Nostos MMA and conditioning in Somersworth, New Hampshire. He's from Wells, Maine.
You know what personality I think from boxing would really transition well to MMA?
Manny Pacquiao.
No, it's super obvious. You're telling me that big singing bastard Tyson Fury would sell 5 million pay-per-views in MMA?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Oh, Adrian Broner, man. Oh, referee Jason Herzog standing him up.
Best in the business.
He is he's consistent.
Very much. Oh! Axe kick! He might have hurt him too.
Karakhanyan working that leg. That's what you do when you're hurt.
I don't know if he just went in for the takedown, but that looked like it landed right on the back of his head.
I think he went straight in for the takedown. I think he's still working the takedown. Gains position.
He's gonna win this fight.
That was a great job by Karakhanyan. Working from side control here now. El Matador trying to make it up to his feet.
I really thought he hurt him on that one.
Karakhanyan might be able to get the back, but Sanchez, ooh, nice scramble there.
But Sanchez still has his back. Not great. He should be able to spin, but I don't know.
Just under 2 minutes remaining, round number 3, our main event. Good fight, man. Super competitive.
Yeah,
and to that guy that called me out on Reddit, I hope you're watching this fight.
Oh, Sanchez got on top.
Ooh, working from half guard here now.
He can get some damage, too, because that's the thing. Karakhanyan might have controlled more of the round, but he didn't do any damage. He didn't really do an awful lot. So if Sanchez could actually work for these last minute like he should.
That leaves a good impression in the judges' minds, especially when it's a round apiece the way that we have it.
I don't like when people say that because that's not how fights are judged, and you know that. But
I know it's not, but I've seen some strange-ass judging.
But
I scored a fight 49-45 here recently, and it ended up a draw.
It was a local fight.
It ended up a draw.
But Craig, those weren't high-caliber judges.
And then the judge tried to justify to a media member how he scored a fight a certain way. As Sanchez stands up, and then he jumps back in.
He's landing good shots He's landing good shots on the entry, too, into the guard. Yeah. He's landing that punch and then kind of securing his position. He's going to need to keep on doing this, though. I think he would win this fight if he can just keep on working. Working
from half guard here now. Karakhanyan kind of grabbing an arm.
Good job of Karakhanyan, though, in short notice.
Oh, yeah, 2 weeks notice.
He could win this. I'm not saying he didn't. But
no, exactly. Doing a good job in 2 weeks notice. Now he's eating...
Sticking his tongue out like a wild man. That's some Justin Gaethje shit right there.
He's Anthony Pettising in the fight.
He is, but doesn't have the skill level of Anthony.
Well, Georgie's going to gain some fans if that makes a highlight reel.
He certainly will. It won't be his highlight reel, but...
Yeah, old El Matador. Georgie working for a single. Sanchez kind of pulls him down. Going for an arm here.
Looking for the arm.
The old key lock or Kimura?
Kimura. Not at all a key lock.
Now he's kind of going to get the back. Not a lot of time
nice.
Remaining, though.
Cool transition, though. Armbar to take the back.
It's the end of the fight.
Won that 29-28, I think.
That might have been another draw.
No, it definitely wasn't, but...
That's a tough one. Good
fight, but Sanchez won 29-28, I think.
Run us through it a little bit if you could.
So basically, round 1, Karakhanyan's wrestling really paid dividend. He got the single leg takedown, just worked on top. But again, that's my problem. You can control 5 minutes. You can control 4 minutes in a round, but if it's just control and you're not actually landing very good shots, and I hit you for the last minute, I think that the person who landed the shot should win the round. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's not. But, yeah, round 1, it was a lot of Karakhanyan on the top. I thought Sanchez did a good job off his back. He was trying to sweep. He was actually doing good work, going for different submissions. In round 2, he got that kind of like knee tap, body-to-body takedown. And all round 2 was just Sanchez. He had the back. He was landing good shots, too, from the top. Round 3 was kind of back and forth, but for the last probably 2 minutes, just Sanchez on top all day. And, yeah, we're just kind of waiting for the old...
Fun fight, though, really.
Yeah, good fight. A lot of good grappling exchanges. I do think Sanchez won that, though.
And the other thing that Karakhanyan said in the conversation that we had with him, the fact that it's a multi-fight deal. So he's back with Bellator for 4 fights. Big John's got it scored 29-28 for Sanchez.
I would find it that hard to disagree with.
I'm on the fence, but I'm going to go the same way, 29-28. I think Sanchez did just enough in that last round, especially in the last minute and a half. But even... before that, Karakhanyan had a takedown or two,
but he wasn't doing
didn't do anything with it.
Exactly.
Exactly. So we're just gonna wait the judge's decision. I could see this being a split, but yeah, I mean Sanchez did just enough in that round. As far as the voters, we got a draw. We got a draw on the votes. That's why I threw it in there. But asking on Twitter, Sanchez, Karakhanyan, or a draw. But I agree. What are you agreeing with, Marty?
I think, yeah, it was a really close fight. I just think Sanchez won the last round, and that's what it came down to. So
Le Chemin du Roi, they're still pushing that garb.
That's one of my favorite Bellator moments when Pete or 50 Cent was trying to get Douglas Lehman to drink. He looked at it and put it down on the chair.
Getting the decision here from Michael C. Williams.
Sanchez 100% won that.
Emmanuel Sanchez, the winner there. Yeah, I mean, heck of a fight.
Yeah, good fight, close fight, but I do think they gave it to the right guy.
Yeah, unanimous decision. So he's 18-4. Like I said, he, from what I hear, wants to stay active before that Grand Prix starts up in August, which I think it's a half decent decision. You want to go in there fresh, but also with some, some competition. So
I would love to see him fight Adrian McKee, or McKee. Sorry,
McKee. Yeah, not Matthews. Matthews got a fight coming up next week.
Matthews is.
Really looking forward to it. So tomorrow night, I will flip on over to the old Twitter promo. Don't forget, so you've got Wonder Boy taking on Showtime. You've also got KSW 47. I'm going to be covering that here and there. I think what I'm going to do, because I've hardly been home this week, I think I'm going to tweet it. I'm going to do some different live stuff on there. I might do something live here. I might do something on YouTube. Might incorporate Instagram. Do something a little weird. No fight companion tomorrow. Not for UFC, man.
No.
Not a damn chance.
It's not a very good card.
I'm going to have some beers and not do a fight companion.
Maybe go work out at Tobin's house. You really haven't figured that out yet?
Oh, yeah. No.
Reference.
That's a poor idea. But, yeah, no. Looking forward to it. We're going to be covering the fights. You can find us, as always, on Twitter and Instagram, at Craig Allen FNP, at Matt Allen FNP. Want to shout out to Team Canada. There were no
H&M, you guys used to have a store here, but now you don't.
So. Yeah, now they don't. So anyway, no, really looking forward to the fights. KSW tomorrow is actually a really good card. DeFries and Arcuna main event. Pudzianowski taking on Kalecki. Rodzek. Who else is on there? Norman Park taking on Mankowski, the former champ. It's a stacked card, so hopefully you can check it out. We're going to be covering it and really looking forward to it. So thanks everyone again for joining us. Be sure to subscribe on Sports Booth over on YouTube as well. And hopefully you have a good weekend.
Gang, gang.